in Geddon, the Centre of Magic. This time featuring my good buddy Jay. Jay!
Oh, I expected you to keep going, honestly. I was getting into it.
You're here. You're also a guest in this show, damn it. Join.
Yes, I am here.
Yeah, Jay is the second poor unfortunate victim to have to suffer through my session 0 with his character Smith, which may be one of the greatest names in D&D history.
Keep it simple.
I'm kind of a fan, honestly. It's very descriptive.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It feels so weird to have like a human character in a game.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta be a dude.
You gotta be a dude. And you say that you're like 7 feet tall, aren't you?
Admittedly, a dude that's built like a brick shit house, but still a dude.
Hey, cheers, Bob. Thank you very much for the Prime sub. It is greatly appreciated, buddy. Bob is in the chat, so be good.
Okay.
Your fellow adventurer is watching. So, can you give us a very brief, at least, description of your character before we start?
Right. So, he is very big, very muscly, and very hairy.
Yeah, you are a Forge cleric from Drawdor.
Yeah.
So if anyone last week would remember, a couple of the NPCs were from Drawdor. They tend to be on the bigger, swole side, to say the least.
Yeah.
And you are a adventurer.
Yep.
So you are an adventurer from the guild known as the Boulder Clouds, which totally wasn't named like an hour ago from a name generator.
Of course not. Who'd do that?
So yes, you are. You've got a little lodging. I wouldn't really call it a house. Let's actually get you over to the map. There we go. This is the closest thing to a map you're gonna get in these games. I believe your mini is the one in the far right, by the way. Scroll down slightly, the little blip in the corner.
That's the one I can move.
Yeah, it should be you, that one. That's basically your initiative tracker. So, you are a adventurer from Drawdor. You are not the newest of the new adventurers. You've been around a bit, so you're starting to get your name out there. You are technically a veteran adventurer. You're low on the rung. You've not been a veteran for very long, but you are a veteran adventurer still. So you're not getting, like, what's it called? When they're introduced to a frat party, what's it called?
Hazing.
Yeah, you're not getting hazed anymore.
Do I still have to go on the epic quest of coffee runs? Or is that...
You have a newbie do that for you.
Oh, finally.
What you do get to do, you are sometimes the guy that brings in the donuts, though. I will give you that.
Yeah, but that's just, like, out of manners more than requirement.
Yeah, you are still that. You're not, like, super high up on the list, but you get, like, a slap on the back and a hi from people when they go... From the people.
Yeah.
They know you. You've got your own chair in the bar. So,
Oh, sweet.
you're living it.
The highlights.
Yeah. You have never thought to aspire so high. Actually, how old is your character? I don't know.
Man, it was a while ago that I decided the age, so...
I remember you decided it, but I can't remember.
According to what I've written, I don't know, 30-something.
So you're getting on a bit. You were a bit of a blacksmith before, and you went, you know what, fuck it, I want to be an adventurer now.
Yeah.
Essentially, I'm pretty sure that'll be it, right?
It's more reliable to destroy things myself to get materials than it is to send other people.
You have to pay them otherwise, God.
Right?
Yes, you are that. You have this little. You have a small lodgings in like a nearby inn in the town. I guess it's a decent inn. Nothing to
Yeah.
throw back. Rough description. You're in Drawdor. Most of the towns in Drawdor would essentially be kind of in a similar vein to towns in a western, from look of the buildings. So they're like that kind, bit sturdier built. But there's not
Yeah.
much rock. It's mostly wood. Partially because Drawdor is known to be, of the 4 human kingdoms, Drawdor is by far the most dangerous because Drawdor is the northern kingdom, which is right next to Neria, the dragon kingdom. And Neria is full of giant freaking monsters. And your town is it's pretty north. It's not the furthest north of the towns, but it's on the northern side of the country. So like you're part of like the pretty much the second line
Yeah.
of them essentially. If anything big comes down, you guys will hear about it pretty quick, and you'll have pretty good chances of getting there quickly. The only building in town that is made of stone is the Adventurers Guild, pretty much. The Adventurers Guilds are very solidly built, kind of like a little. Think if you played Warcraft 3, the barracks. It's got like 4 big parapets, solid wall, solid roof. It's a very sturdy, big building.
Okay.
It's the only building in town made of stone because it's the one that they have to rebuild if something trashes the town. So you might as well have something to go on.
Yeah.
Even if it's not much. So you wake up for the day. It's quite a nice day. It's in the summer, like late summer, coming over to autumn. So it's quite warm, not as fucking humid as this, thank God.
Yeah.
But it is like it's a nice day. The birds are singing outside. You're fairly sure there's at least 3 people throwing stones at them to try and get them to stop, and there's at least 1 child being carried away by them. But
Normal day, man.
yeah, you hear the sing-song growls of the normal flying birds. And you start getting up for the day, and you're in your room. You probably got some. Bob just put "what the fuck" in chat. He's in Drawdor, okay?
I mean, it's a nice day. What are we thinking? Like sun's out, guns out, or is it still too cold and Drawdor?
It was actually quite nice and hot, actually. You've got a couple months before it goes to negative like 20 degrees.
I mean, and you can still be like shirtless by like at least -10.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll.
You do know you probably should at least go and check at the Adventurers Guild today. They might have some jobs.
Yeah.
You're kind of running low on cash at the moment. You need the rent.
Yeah, I need the rent. Yeah, it's probably gonna be my first stop of the day, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you can go to the market if you like. It's got you can get like some breakfast or something like that, or you can go and eat breakfast at the guild hall. It's pretty decent. It's nothing to cry home about, but it's decent food and it's decently priced.
I mean, if I'm worried for rent, I'm going wherever breakfast's cheap.
Breakfast is probably cheaper just getting something to eat in the market then, honestly.
Market it is.
Yeah. Do you pick up a coffee on the way out? Coffee is on the house. It's basically like liquid tar, but it is coffee, and it will very much wake you up.
Oh yeah, let's get my free coffee.
Yep.
The only thing that's worth it.
Yeah, puts hairs on your eyes.
Does?
Yeah, you have to shave it off occasionally. It's very vibrant coffee.
You don't want to know how many razor blades I've gone through shaving my eye.
So yes, you go down. There's basically the tavern proprietor is sitting like behind the desk. Little old lady. Basically blind. Think like 2 feet tall, like really small lady with like her hair in a bun. It's completely white. She carries instead of a walking stick, she carries a maul.
Yeah.
And uses it as a walking stick.
She is probably tough as nails. I can't imagine you live to be that old in this place without just being badass.
Yeah, you know she was a former adventurer. And she opened the tavern up as a retirement fund. so so the Adventurers Guild didn't have to deal with the constant payments of anyone who insulted her having to get their knees replaced.
Yeah.
Turns out, if you're 2 feet tall and swing a two-handed maul at someone's kneecap, you need to go to the doctors.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll treat her with some degree of respect and just give a casual, like, nod and good morning as I walk past and make no further attempt at conversation.
Morning, dearie.
Yeah.
And as
Gotta-
soon as
gotta-
he responds,
Gotta go get breakfast and buy some donuts. It's probably my turn, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough. So you go, you hop off down to the market, drinking your coffee. It's actually it tastes good, and you are very awake now.
Yeah.
You are actually for the next hour under the effects of the haste spell.
Okay. Some good coffee.
It's so full of caffeine that it's possible if you drink too much, your heart will explode. So you have to drink. It's draw door coffee. It's very strong, very strong coffee.
Yeah, us draw door, man, built different. That's why we can drink it.
Most people from Drawdor are. You actually, on the way past, I actually didn't name your town, but it's just the town that you're in.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't really too bothered about the name of a town because it might be gone in the next week.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the town that the Boulder Clouds Adventurers Guild is in is what most people refer it to as.
Yeah.
You actually walk past a couple of shops and things. Make me a perception check, please.
Did it? I'm
Town
great.
5.
I'm great at perception. Oh, 19.
Oh, yeah. So yes, you go around. You see, there's a couple of posters on some walls. A couple of the normal help wanted. Will you help me find my lost kitten? And it has a picture of a saber-toothed tiger on it.
Those things are always getting stuck in trees.
Yeah. And if you posters, they are missing person posters. You actually see one of a silk shop owner. They actually know she usually she quite often stays in this town. She's a silk shop owner and an adventurer. Her name is Annie. And she's actually on one of the posters.
Oh, it's concerning.
Nice lass. You know her as someone not to be messed with. You once had an arm wrestling match with her and she broke your arm. So...
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, she can handle herself. And she's missing, which is kind of surprising. You know she can handle herself. And there's a couple more names you see on there, and they're also people. One or two from your Adventurers Guild actually have just gone missing. Which isn't the weirdest thing to hear about in Drawdor, but normally there aren't posters up about it because it's like this person is gone, cause of death, eaten, or something like that.
Yeah.
These ones is just missing, which is a little weird. Maybe something to keep a note of.
It's definitely weird that people are missing instead of just dead.
Yeah. So you go down to the markets. There's a few bits on sale. You do see your classic, basically the Krispy Kremes, but nicer.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, so do you want to go over to them first, or do you want to get breakfast first?
I mean, you got to get breakfast first, because otherwise you're carrying donuts around with you everywhere.
Yeah, fair enough. So you nod to him and just, do you say, I'll be back later, save me a box or something?
Yeah. Obviously, got to make sure I get, the box, pre-booked in, because otherwise you go there, at the end, and everyone's already got theirs, and you're just left with, the leftovers that nobody really likes, but they're not, bad enough for people to say they don't like them, if you know what I mean.
I do, yes, actually. Yeah, the man there, he's a short man, especially for Drawder, he's actually just over 5 feet tall. But he's also 5 feet wide, so it kind of balances out. He's human. And you see there's a thing about him, you know this guy, he's Colin, actually. And the weird thing about Colin, he's always a nice guy, Really hard to take him seriously though because of the massive, like, 3-foot long tusks coming out of his lower jaw that stick over his head. Is his from what you understand, it's his natural magic, something to do with the tusks, but you never wanted to ask.
I feel like there's not really a situation you can. Oh, hey, Colin, here for the Daily Donuts. How'd you get the tusks? They're weird.
Hey, Smith, how you doing?
Alright there, Colin. I'll be back in a bit, but gonna go get some breakfast. Can you save us $1?
No, sure thing, buddy. You have a normal payment?
Yeah.
Cool. I need 1 gold deposit then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know they're not super cheap, but they're good. They're worth the price. Say you hand him over a gold, and he like takes 1 big box of donuts. He knows it's for the Adventurers Guild, so takes a big box of donuts and like puts it aside, and like takes it off and replaces the ones with another set of donuts.
Yeah.
Right, see you in probably about an hour then.
Yep. We're gonna get like a Monster Hunter on this breakfast, the size of your face.
Yeah. You go down to a place that sells basically a little breakfast. I'd call it a cafe, but it's really not a cafe. It's a place where food is gotten. And you see them frying up. It's not a hero's feast, no. This is like a hero's feast from a gutter.
Yeah.
But it's cheap, and there's a lot of it. So yeah,
you know, that's what we're after.
Yeah, there's so you sit down at the table. It's actually like it's a nice table of things, and you look at the menu and you see all you can eat for 1 gold breakfast. Adventurers Guild, 50% off.
Well,
bearing in mind, there are no half golds. Gold is the lowest form of currency, so you're not entirely sure how you have to pay.
Well, it just means I get to eat
Enough for 2 people.
enough for 2 people. It's all I can eat twice.
The lady comes over. She's actually not native from Drawdor. She's from Edru, so she's actually like not built like a small castle.
Yeah.
She's a nice lady, blonde. She comes over and asks for your order. Hello. What can I help you for you today?
You know the usual, the all you can eat.
Okay. You're eating alone, so I'm assuming 2 portions?
Yeah.
Okay. You've got like your Adventurers Guild like symbol on, essentially, so they know what to look for. Okay, thank you very much. And she wanders off to the back. You see like a huge bloke, like far taller than you, like standing around 8.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
In like a little apron, like just cooking, like he's like stirring with one hand this massive just vat of, you hope is porridge. And in front of him you can just actually roll me a perception check.
I mean, do I want to succeed on this? I feel like this is one of those ones where it's like, you don't want to know what's in you. Oh, another 18.
Very consistent. Yeah, you can smell bacon and sausages, like decent ones, and eggs. You can also see an egg frying, and the egg is bigger than the plates. You don't ask. Big Kev. Yeah, it's Big Kev. I'm actually
Big
right.
Kev's breakfast.
The place is actually called Big Kev's Food. But food is spelt F-O-U-D.
Yep, of course it is.
Yeah, it is. And you get essentially two of everything. So you get a bowl of porridge. You are fairly sure is like half a watermelon. And you get two of those. You get chunks of bacon that look like they were stripped straight off of like a cow. You get some sausages that you could beat someone to death with. You get a black pudding that is just completely black. There's nothing else. There's no other color to it. It just eats all the light around it. It looks like.
Yep.
You get some toast that can probably be used as a shield. And you get two of everything. There is enough food.
Go to breakfast.
Yeah, there is enough food here. You're fairly sure that will either keep you fed for the whole day or kill you for the.
Well, not ventured, not gained.
I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, yep, okay. That's a 5.
Actually, I'll give you advantage on it for the simple reason that you've had these breakfasts before.
Okay.
So just roll it again.
15.
Okay. You don't pass out in a food coma.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're chubbing through. It's actually not bad. Like, it's slightly better than you expected, actually. It's pretty decent today.
Nice.
So,
It's
yeah.
probably the giant eggs.
Yeah,
Birds have been feeding well if the kid getting taken this morning was anything to go by.
You actually see just overhead a small child of about 8 years old being carried in the talons of a what looks essentially like a raven, but about 4 times the size and with a beak a bit like a vulture. And you see the kid isn't so much scared, more angry, and is currently trying to hit the bird that is carrying it 30 feet off the ground with one of his boots.
Yeah. This isn't a scenario you help out in. If he can't make it out on his own, he's done for in Droder anyway.
Pretty much. A few people just watching passively. There's one person who you can tell is a tourist who looks horrified, and he's looking around at everyone going, aren't we going to help?
The tourist's not going to last long either.
Yeah, is a tourist a small man? Small by outright standards. You can't really tell what race he is. He's human. That's about it. Wearing a small pair of glasses and neat little suit type arrangement. Kind of looks like a clerk, like black hair slicked down across his head. He's got a book and a little like fantasy briefcase essentially.
Okay. He definitely stands out in a place like this.
Yeah. Well, he might not stand out in a crowd because the crowd is about 5 feet above his head.
You have a valid point there. He would stand out if people could see him.
Yeah. If you look down, he stands out. Yeah, he's looking around a bit like, what? Is nobody going to help him? To the fact that he has no response from anybody.
Yeah.
He starts like he runs off and like sounds like he's going to get someone, probably the authorities. You're thinking possibly there might be a very small amount of money on a contract to save child from bird. Later on.
I mean, it's pending how much that guy's willing to pay. Might be worth it. Probably won't.
Okay, so yeah, you finish your breakfast. You're feeling very full. Like, yeah, it was a good breakfast. You leave the money on the table.
Yeah.
And go back, I'm assuming, to go and get your donuts.
How much? He said back in an hour. How much time could the breakfast have really taken?
About 45 minutes. There was a lot of food.
I'll spend like 10 minutes letting the food settle, and I'll go like, I don't know, just browse the stalls, see if they've got any neat new metals in today. Oh boy.
Okay, let me actually roll what stores you see today. Like, who's open today, essentially. Like, it's fairly early in the morning. It's like... Right now, after the 45 minutes, it's about 8:30. So there's a couple places that are starting to open up.
Yep.
The ones you see that are open is a gem merchant,
Okay.
a different blacksmith shop, one that tends to specialise in weaponry,
Okay.
and the other one is a gardener, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Like, you've got a small garden centres open. Some of the plants appear to be fighting back.
Like I was going to go to the other blacksmiths and just steal all of his ideas. Um, but like the fact that there's a gardener in this place, like what? I feel like I kind of have to know like what's he using to make those tools because I refuse to believe someone could garden here.
You haven't seen the store before. Like, it appears to be a bit of a new one. So behind the store is an orc. Actually, orcs
A bit of a
aren't.
green thumb.
No, he's not green. He's brown. But
Damn it.
but other than that, you're on the money. He's not as tall as you, but he's about as broad.
Yeah.
And he's big still. He's like a big dude. Short little fangs and tusks, kind of pointed ears, like typical of an orc. He's got the kind of like skin that looks like bark, essentially. He appears to be trying to subdue a what appears. Roll me a nature check, actually.
Oh boy. Oh, it's a 20.
Damn.
Dirty 20.
Okay, you look at it originally and go, that's just a sunflower. And then you see the teeth. And go, that's a false sunflower. That's literally the name of them.
Yeah. Classic false sunflower.
It's a false sunflower. They're known to essentially lure people in because they lure things in because they smell very nice, and then eat them. Kind of like a Venus flytrap, but more proactive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he appears to be trying to subdue it with a club.
Never considered that as a gardening implement before. I'm gonna make some mental notes. Actually, wait. Is it effective first? I'm gonna watch and find out.
You watch for about 5 minutes, and it appears somewhat effective. Like, it's snarling a little bit, and the plant appears to be, like, still very determined. You know they are naturally determined species, though. But
Yeah.
he seems to be winning. Like,
You know
the dude seems to be winning. So
I'll keep that in mind for if I ever want to start a garden. Clubs.
you see a few more of his implements. I'll give you this as a free one because you're a smith and you said you were looking out for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He has got some gardening equipment, like he's got trowels, the little fork things that you use for gardening. The
Yeah.
most notable one. Have you ever seen one of those, like, I think it's called a lopper. It's like a little machete type thing with a bit more of a point that, like, goes outwards from the side. That one looks particularly nice quality, you notice. But all the rest are, like, they're good magical, just normal magical equipment, the same you'd see anywhere. That one looks particularly nice, though.
I guess I'll ask him where he got the lopper then. If that's the one that's caught my eye the most.
Oh, sir! Give me a minute!
Take time.
He just clubs the thing down and goes, right, I've had it with you. And he raises the club one more time, and you see a burst of light come out of the club, and he brings it down on top of its head? And there's a little explosion of a thunderclap, and the plant like sags backwards.
Yeah, I was I was good work there, but I was just wondering where you got the words just escaped me immediately after you've said it.
Lopper, chopper, something like that, it all kind of works.
Lopper. Yeah.
It's like a machete, essentially. It's a different machete. Look one up on Google. You can probably find one. It was, oh, this thing. It's from back home. It's was made by a troll I know actually, but from back home. Nice work, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, they're not usually the best for metal work. They're much better fighters, but they can do some good work at the moment. Possibly the advantage of not having to use a hammer to smith tools.
Yes, it could help, yeah. Ideas formulating in my head, mostly about covering my hands in stones and using that instead of a hammer.
Yeah, you roll me. I'm gonna go with a. Let's go with a nature check again. Actually, that'd be close enough. How much
That's
you know
13.
about? How much you know about trolls? Yeah, this is a really low DC. So, yeah, you know about trolls. They are essentially made of rock, for all intents and purposes. They are a living creature, but their hide is grey, grey and extremely tough. So it is essentially similar texture to stone. So yeah, you would 100% know. That's how they smith things. Essentially, you're getting the impression of.
You know what? I might try and get like this troll's, I guess, information from this guy. Like, maybe if I ever leave Droda,
Yeah, if you ever end up in the other country.
If I ever end up in another country for whatever weird reason, I might go check him out.
Yeah. So yeah, he gives you the details of a fellow called. Let me get a name generator. Weird name, isn't it?
And it's a strange name. His mother gave him that?
No, I think his mother just called him, like, Craig, but he didn't really like it, so he changed it to Let Me Get Her. He prefers calling him Lemmy, though.
Okay, Lenny.
Lemy. I'm totally rolling with this. By the way, I actually like that. Lemmy. Let me get her is the one you know.
Let me get her.
Let me get her, troll blacksmith. The metal, you do note, is actually from Drawdor, though.
Yeah.
It's like got a slight weird bluish. Not Crag. He wasn't named Crag. That's 2 on the nose. Yeah, you do notice. Yeah, the 13 will work for that as well. It's metal from Drawdor, but more of the trolls live in like the northern part of Salga, which is the country the trolls normally come from. So it's like it's not the craziest thing to imagine that one just walked a little ways across the border, or like got through the Bastion's line through like payment, or just like was proven not to be a murderous lunatic, and just got some metal and went back home. Honestly, so
yeah,
Drona's got pretty good materials. It's not the best in the world, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's pretty much. He doesn't give you an address because he does say, yeah, he's from one of the ships, so it could be anywhere, honestly. But yeah, the sad ships go all around. But he was on one of them. Can't remember the name of it at this time, unfortunately. But you can probably find him.
I mean, how common a name's Let Me Get Her?
Exactly.
Alright. I guess thanks for your time there, bud.
No problem. Another plant gets another plant as you're turning to leave. Gets up and I need to roll an attack.
No, I'm getting attacked by a plant.
Oh god, you got crit by a plant.
You know what? This is fine.
You just got crit by a small plant. Yeah, there's this little purple, a little purple flower with a little like trumpet shape at the end of it. Very nice smelling actually, and it, as you like started to turn away, it like went up and the trumpet was aimed at you, and a little spike shot out towards you, and it crit. You are
Yeah.
taking 8 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make me a con save, please.
Cool. That's another 5.
You are now poisoned, and you suffer. Oh my god. Okay. 20 points of poison damage.
Jeez.
I rolled pretty high for reference.
That's pretty good damage.
There's this little spike sticking out you, just go. Like,
Well, that's irritating.
no! Bam! And you hear the thunderclap behind you again. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, sir. These ones can be a little feisty. Here's on the house, and he hands over a potion.
Guess I'll drink that. Cheers.
Okay, it is a potion of neutralysis, is what it's called. Basically, over the next 10 minutes... wait, you're cured of poison, for first. Over the next 10 minutes, any damage you have received from poison will be regenerated automatically. For, like, 1 hit point per round.
Neat.
So basically, by the time you... It does count for there was poison still in your system. So
Yeah.
you're basically going to be healing those 20 points in the next 10 minutes.
Okay.
The piercing damage you can't do anything for, though.
I mean, it's not like I'm a cleric or anything.
Sorry about that again. You know, it's the plant
Yeah,
that's been heavily subdued by the club again.
That's fine, it's fine. My fault, honestly. Should have been on the lookout. Yeah, guess I'll go pick up my donuts and go back to the guild.
After having been stabbed.
Having been stabbed by a plant.
Yeah, so, you go to the donut merchant. He asks for another 2 gold, essentially.
Okay.
He goes, pleasure doing business with you, Smith. See ya. Probably, I don't know, next week. I think that's when your shift for the donuts comes up again.
Probably.
I'll be hunting to you.
Happy donutting to you.
Clever. He says without a smile on his face.
Can he physically smile with
Yeah.
those tusks?
You've seen him do it before. It was very entertaining. His tusks kind of cross over the top of his head. Start walking, I'm assuming towards the guild.
Yeah, I've got no more stops on the way.
Okay, you head straight there. Make me another perception check.
What? My eyes are getting a workout today. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay, yeah, you notice there's a few more missing person posters in other parts of the town as well?
Right. So something's definitely going on.
Yeah, not all of them are for this area, you know, as well.
Yeah.
Like a few from a couple towns over, you feel that there's some people who've just like put them around. But there's a good number of people of various races. The thing you do notice about it, though, that pretty much everyone in the pictures is someone who either looks, if you don't know them, or that you know if you know them. Because a few of them you know. Like, they're formidable people. Like, they're not just some random schmucks off the street. These are people who can handle themselves.
Yeah. So something's definitely up. And whatever it is, it's definitely dangerous.
Yeah, there's no people who are, like, nobodies. Like, there's no, like, ordinary, weak civilian types on the posters. Everybody is, like, an adventurer a noteworthily like solid, formidable like inner scrap merchant. The merchants that the bandits stay the fuck away from. And those kind of people essentially. There's no like small fry on this. Although technically it's all small fry by the terms of like the high power people, because you know the really big. There's no like super big adventurers on there. There's no like legendaries or anything like that.
Yeah.
But there's like all these people are fairly hardy types. So
Yeah. People who could definitely handle themselves.
yeah. So it's a bit weird. And you start going towards the guild hall, and you see quite a bit of commotion actually outside the guild hall.
Okay.
People are rushing around. They look like there's a few big wagons outside pulled by aurochs. Aurochs, for reference, are the beast of burden of choice for Drawdor. Imagine the Schwarzenegger cow
Yeah.
crossed with a Highland cow with horns that are wider than most people's arm spans.
Yeah.
They're big, not particularly quick-moving beasts, but when they get up to speed, very little is going to stop them.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm just gonna look down and be like, I don't think I brought enough donuts.
And yeah, so you see people also packing like a lot of weaponry and things. Roll me a what check would this be? I need to actually get a character sheet up so I can remember what the fucking checks are called. It's not like I played D&D yesterday at all. No.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Make me a survival check. I'd say would be the best one for this.
That's a 14.
Okay, yeah. You notice that a few of the weapons being packed in are more formidable. They're the bigger guns, essentially, that you'd bring out. They are like getting close to tier 4 magic equipment, which is some of the best the guild has access to.
Jeez. Okay, something's definitely up. I might hurry inside and see what's going on, man.
Yeah.
There's like all these missing people, all that are like able to handle themselves, and the big guns being brought out. I'm gonna go find someone and ask what the hell's going on.
Yeah, they're being loaded into wagons. You know a few of them in particular as well. There's a few special weapons that you would very easily notice. They are basically they are big, look kind of like a spear. But they are about 10-11 feet long and have big blades running back. Imagine the Dragonators from Monster Hunter, essentially, but a lot smaller.
Admittedly, as soon as you said, like, imagine a spear, my mind just went, it's a Dragonator.
It's not far off of a Dragonator. It's a lot smaller, and they look like they're for, by technicality, personal use. But they are tier 4 magic equipment. You know, they can at least put some damage on more or less anything, even if it comes out of Neria. Neria is the more formidable beasts that get out of Neria and start coming south, essentially.
Yeah.
You don't. Most of the monsters that don't care about those, you all hope those things don't come south. And so there's lots of supplies and heavy-duty equipment being bushed out for this stuff. So you know something's up. And you can see quite clearly Old Man Roch, R-O-C-H, the head of the guild. He's a big, like, kind of stocky man, not particularly tall for a Drawdor person. He's on the average of like 6'3".
Yeah.
But he is very solidly built. He's got arms like tree trunks. He's got a bit of a gut. He's the master adventurer of the guild, so he doesn't go on personally. He is actually kitted up.
Okay.
He's got his big ass hammer on his belt. A very, very powerful magical weapon that you know it to be. It's a tier 4 weapon in its own right.
I feel like I wasted time getting donuts now.
He's got
Why did I get donuts?
he's got one eye, he's got his one eye patch, big white beard. Basically, think Battle Santa.
Awesome.
Would be the best description.
Well, I guess I'll go up to Battle Center and ask what's up.
Ah, Smith! Nice to see you. Oh, you've brought donuts as well. Those will be useful. So, assuming you've heard the news?
I have heard nothing. I've seen a lot of missing people posters, which I thought was weird, and then I saw, the good weapons getting loaded up.
Ah, yeah, it's nothing to do with the posters today, I'm afraid. Well, come on. Well, I'll get it. I'll tell you when I'm telling the rest. Anyway, we're all gonna. I've started the prep work up, but we've got to do this. And then he wanders off a little bit, like gesturing you to follow him.
Yeah, I'll follow. I still haven't had an opportunity to put down the donuts, so I guess I'm still bringing those.
Yeah. And he goes up onto this little podium, and basically like a little. I'd say it's not a podium; it's a platform that's like raised about 4 feet off the ground. It's like a box, basically, but bigger with stairs.
Yeah.
And he just claps his hands, and you hear a big. It cuts through all the sound, and pretty much everything goes silent. Right, ladies and gents, adventurers of all types, we have a important, non-negotiable mission today, I'm afraid, everybody. As you might have noticed, everybody is getting prep work, and that is for a particular reason. So, the closest adventurers guild to us, the one in the north, known as the Phoenix Company, appears to have been wiped out. Hey, let's settle in. Roll me a... What is your best knowledge check? Roll me that. Not religion, essentially.
You think I'm good at religion?
I mean, you're a cleric, but yeah. Basically, history, arcana, or any of those would work, essentially. Nature would work, any of those ones.
Right.
Which is your highest modifier, essentially.
Well, the thing is history, nature, and arcana all use intelligence, so they're all the same.
Okay, roll any of them, doesn't matter.
That's a dirty 20.
20 again. Yeah, you know the Phoenix Company, they were one of the more northern ones. They were like quite close to the border with Neria. They are known to be a very, very formidable adventurers guild. They didn't have any legendary adventurers, but they had a lot of master tier adventurers. So they are known to be able to very much handle themselves. So if something's wiped them out, it's bad.
Okay.
It's very bad. So, we, as the nearest Adventurers Guild, have to go and try to clear up their mess.
Right.
And possibly get a casualty report to see what's happened. I believe this man here knows a couple of things that happened. You see a small, clerk-like man.
Oh, this guy again.
Yep. You actually notice that, now that you actually look at the back of him, there are burn marks towards his back. Roll me a Arcana check.
Okay. That's another dirty
You're
20.
very good at these random knowledge checks. So what it looks like to your veteran adventurer eyes, it looks like it's come from lightning, by the looks of things. Small amounts of lightning, possibly very well dodged small amounts of lightning, but still small amounts of lightning. Probably you can gauge the guy was running like hell and got the outside effect of a lightning attack. Yes. I'm the head clerk of the Phoenix Company. I came as fast as I could. We got white. I saw on the outside. I was going towards the. He's very panicked as he's saying this. He's not used to being in the company of. He's used to being in the company of a large number of adventurers, but not used to being the centre of attention of a large number of adventurers. You guess he's probably usually used to being ignored by a large number of adventurers. And he's kind of shaking in his boots. He's like, "Oh, there was a large blue reptile. It I was going my way back after coming to town here for a small amount, and it was gone. The whole town was on fire or rubble. It was large blue reptile thing. Nasty one. Roll me a survival check with advantage.
Okay. This is 16.
16. Yeah. You can guess roughly what this thing is by large blue reptile. You can probably guess it's some kind of dragonoid.
Yep.
It's not a dragon, for reference. Dragons are way too powerful and there wouldn't be anything left. But you can guess it would be some kind of dragonoid, like a drake. The drakes are pretty much... There's not many things that can take on any of the drakes in the area. They are like the upper category of creature. There's a few things that can fight them. For reference, since you, in your backstory, you went into an area one time and you saw a mammoth that was dispatched by a warg. Drakes are the normal predators of mammoths. They're one of the common... They're not a common creature, but they're one of the things that tends to eat mammoths. You've never seen one, but they have a reputation. A couple of adventurers call out, "How big was it?" He goes, about, rough look, 80 feet.
Okay.
Like, and Rock like pats him on the shoulder and goes, "That's you did all your job. We'll do the rest of this, but 80 feet, blue, did it have wings?" He looks down at the guy and says, he just shakes his head. He goes, "Right. Probably dealing with a spark drake here. 80 feet, probably a juvenile. We actually might be able to take it." He says with a bit of a wry grin. "But, just in case, I called in a favour from an old few friends of mine. And he's getting his pay for this, I'm sure." You look over to the corner to where, like, indicated. And you see a person in the corner. Very tall. About 8 feet. So you can really tell in the shadow. If you want to make me a perception check, you can see more, possibly. But
Yeah, I'll make a perception check. Ooh, 22.
nice. Yeah, so you see this guy, you actually recognise him. Not from personal experience, but you recognise him from reputation. Because very few people would not recognise this person in your line of work. This is Egar Kor. He is a human from Edru. So he's immense. For a human of Edru, he's immense.
Yeah.
He's kind of slim looking. Well, I'd say slim. He's got big shoulders and solid muscle, but he's like weirdly thin in a lot of times. You can see a lot of the definition. Looks like he doesn't eat enough. He's got very long white hair. Doesn't have a shirt on. He just has like this banded couple of like essentially belts like crossed across his thing, and on his back he has this long 3-bladed razor-edged trident. He's leaning up against the wall. And he just indicates, like, "Yep, I'm getting paid for this, so nothing too bad. You know this is a legendary adventurer."
Well,
you've heard rumours about his natural magic as well. You don't know anything for sure, but what you've heard, this man has apparently been killed more times than most people have lived. And you can see a lot of, with a 22, I'll give you this, you can see what looks like evidence of former scars.
Okay.
Most of which look like they should have been lethal. But he's very clearly alive. He's not undead. For reference, he's very clearly not undead.
What is this guy, like a phoenix or something?
No. What you've heard is he's just died a lot. There's no, you hear about Phoenix type magic because that is technically pyromancy, and pyromancy gets talked about. This guy definitely doesn't have pyromancy. Pyromancy is very rare, and it always gets like there's like every pyromancer is known to be a pyromancer. This guy's not known to be a pyromancer. But he has some sort of weird magic that you guess allows him to not die. In certain situations, at least. So yeah. We're dealing with this thing, it seems. So it's 2 days away, so we'll organise who's doing what on the way. And he looks at you, dead eyes at you, and goes, "The raspberry jam in there?"
Yeah.
He holds out a hand.
I guess I'll pass him a donut.
He inclines his head slightly and just eats the donut quietly. And Rock is now giving orders out to like tell people to get supplies and stuff.
Any of Smith's worries about this might be dangerous is gone because we have a legendary goddamn guy here. Smith trying to play it cool with the donut thing internally. He's probably like, Jesus Christ, that's a legendary adventurer.
Yeah, this is like seeing like a celebrity, like your favorite celebrity. This is like seeing them.
I've got to get as close to him as possible, just so I can study his weapon. My priorities are in check.
Yeah, correct order. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I'm assuming you're gonna just go. You're ordered to go help out with supplies and things, and I'm assuming you hand out the donuts.
Yeah.
On the way.
Hand out the donut.
Yeah, a lot of people. A lot of the people who know you, particularly like, cheers, Smith.
Yep.
And things like that. You're tasked to deal with most of the metal, like get most of the metal tools and things, because you know what to deal with. This is any kind of thing like this. You get usually stuck with getting the metal shit together, making sure it's all repaired up and things as well.
Yeah.
There's a few things that need a bit of repairing, but you're fairly sure you can do that on the journey. The wagons are very sturdy, and there is this little smith's one. A little blacksmith shop one. The guild brings along in case they need to do in-field repairs. As like a small forge and anvil and a few things like that. And you're basically being put in there. Essentially to like do maintenance on anything that needs repairing on the journey, essentially. Okay, so that's basically how you spend the rest of your day.
Getting that hard work and sweating.
Yeah. Do you want to, at some point when you've got a bit of spare time, try and have a look and try to discern some stuff about the legendary adventurer's trident?
Yes.
Okay, so make me... I will go with an investigation check. I'm assuming you're not going to go outright up and tell him, can I look at your weapon?
I mean, I would have assumed he would say no if I did.
That's fair. So yeah, make me an investigation check, and I'll give you advantage because you're a smith. You're a forge cleric.
Yeah,
you're used to dealing with magic equipment. So.
I am proficient in smith's tools. That is what makes me a smith.
That'll be later.
Yeah. Oh, that's a
natural 20. That's the one you needed it as well. I would give you some bits and pieces, but you're getting a good rundown of a few of its abilities. Not all of them. There are some things you can't tell, but a few of the bits you can definitely tell. So this is very clearly to you. This is a +4 weapon.
Okay.
It's not made of Titan steel, but it's a +4 weapon. Titan steel, you know, is a +5 weapon minimum. So it's not that powerful, but these are pretty much the most powerful weapons you're going to see outside of Titan steel. They're the best that a normal weapon can get to. And the abilities you know about it. So it's a slashing weapon, primarily. You can tell by the blades on the side. It's not a... It can be used to stab, obviously. Essentially, you notice, you thought the guy was just wearing chains as like part of his armor. No, the chains are mostly connected to the trident. And from what you can tell, those chains can be used to grapple things. When you use the trident, they appear to be also enchanted to be part of it. and to like hold things in place while he's doing it, while not restricting his wielding use of the trident. The whole thing is metal. A weird mix of alloys. You can't really tell all of them. There's definitely some steel in there. There's a bit of titanium. There's a lot of very good materials in it. You can tell it was someone he paid top money for this. And the effects of it, you can tell. It has the rending ability, which means rending basically is it can inflict the bleed status effect. And also, you can't tell what tier of the rending effect it is. You know that the higher tiers of rending effect can actually reduce the armor of a target as well.
Okay.
It also has an ability on it that appears to activate when you get a particularly noteworthy hit. You can't tell what the ability is, but you notice there's something about it. Like, if you hit that solidly, something else would happen. You're not sure what. Basically, it's a crit, an on-crit ability.
Yeah. I'm getting plans. The chains are metal, yeah.
The chains are metal, yes.
Okay.
And the last ability that you can tell from it is an interesting one. So what it appears to do, it appears to have an ability on it that if you hit someone with a certain type of natural magic, that natural magic will not activate if it's a defensive one.
Okay.
Up to a certain amount of power, at least. Would you roll again an Arcana check to see if you can figure out which type of natural magic it works well against?
I assume this is just a straight roll.
Yeah.
A 19.
Good enough. You know this one is effective against life magic. Of the 8 types of magic, life magic appears to be one this is good against. You can't tell how powerful. It's a fairly powerful weapon, so you're guessing that like weak life magic won't really stand up to it, but it's not going to put a damper on anyone who's a very powerful life magic user, essentially.
Okay.
But they actually have to use a fair bit of energy to prevent the effect. Life magic, I'll give you this, life magic common knowledge. Life magic's known to be more commonly used for physical enhancement magic, but it also includes magic like electromancy and pyromancy. Heat generated from the body counts as life magic. Basically, heat generated counts as life magic, and electricity counts as life magic. The production of energy is usually a thing that life does, essentially. So yeah, that's particularly good against those types of magic. Just a handy weapon.
Yeah.
You can add some other abilities as well, but you just aren't powerful enough at the moment to be able to figure out. You've not seen enough weapons of this caliber, essentially, unfortunately. Even a natural 20, I can give you a lot, but I can't literally give you everything because your character wouldn't know that, even with a natural 20, unfortunately. But you got a shitload out of that, though. Okay, yeah, you also managed to not... I'll give you it because you got the natural 20. He didn't notice. Or he appeared to not notice you doing it anyway.
I mean, to be fair, I have a plan that I might suggest to him. But the plan entirely hinges on how flame retardant he is.
Roll me a nature check.
That's a 15.
Okay. You know that not every type of drake breathes fire.
No. Alright. You know what? I'll just do it heat of the moment. It'll be fine.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He can just put up with my surprise plan.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, so that's basically the rest of your day you spend doing that, and you all set off at like midday. Make me a couple of Smith's Tools checks just to get like basically if you just this is what you're doing for the next day or so.
Okay.
You're basically being told, yeah, just repair some gear, that kind of stuff. Nice.
Oh no.
You didn't have a modifier in there.
Did I not?
It was 3 plus 2, which is your bonuses for them, but you should have. You haven't got. You've got it set to query, haven't you?
I did. I can set it to.
No, I mean it's
to
you've got the modifier on it set to query. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it should have been just basically add your strength to each of those.
Oh yeah, it should be +5.
Yeah, because like your herbalism kit
No,
should
wait.
you
Is it
basically have it
+5?
as default. Your
Oh no,
smiths,
it's only +3, not +5.
it's +5 with your proficiency. Your
Oh,
herbalism
yeah.
kit should have wisdom on it as well. As it's one. It's not always going to be used like that, but more commonly, you're going to be using strength for smith's tools, and for herbalism, it's going to be wisdom. They're the most common ones you're going to get.
Yeah. Okay, well then that's a
So yeah, you get +3, so a 24 and a 7. Yeah, a 24 and a 10. Yeah, 10's good enough for what you're repairing on the second part of it, so it's fine. You basically don't break anything, but you just like fix up some normal chainmail and stuff like that. The the high one was the original one, which is basically you repair a couple of very powerful items.
Oh, that's good.
Like bits of gear that you know, basically they're your high priority ones. That these need to be fixed up before we go in. The rest is just like your standard maintenance. So you're not going to improve any gear on the second one, but you're going to actually make the good stuff in good nick, essentially. Okay. So yeah, you travel for a couple of days. You basically, this is the environment you kind of see at the moment. The actual map is appropriate for once. Nice, rolling, kind of like night warm tundra would be the best description for Draw-Dight. Rolling hills. You're getting closer and closer to Neria, which currently it would be the height of summer in Neria, so it is getting hotter and hotter and hotter the more northern you go. Because Neria has 2 seasons. It has middle of winter and middle of summer. It's not humid, for reference. It is just breaking heat, essentially, is the weather that is currently being found in the more northern way you go, essentially. To the point you actually see, if you look out the side of the cart, on a couple of times you get some, like, off time from your smithing. You see a few of the, probably not local flora bursting into flames.
Yep.
The fauna bursting into flames would be very, very dark. He's like, oh, that deer over there, and it's on fire. You assume some not local plants managed to get in somehow into this area, and they just catch fire.
Yep. That tracks.
See, you're going more and more northerly. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and you eventually. All the wagons, like, after like 2 days of travel, it's a big country, the wagons finally stop. You didn't stop to make camp at any point, for reference. Aurochs can carry on for a very long time. You had a big convoy. No one's going to attack you or anything like that, so.
Yeah.
And you can hear burning still, even from this distance. And you can get out now.
Okay. I guess I'd do that.
Okay. Do you want to make a perception check?
Always.
Okay. Yeah, for nice.
Another crit.
You're making all your good rolls now, and you're gonna just get annihilated.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you are about 2 miles from the town.
Okay.
Ish. And you are surveying the area, and you see the town is still on fire. Most of the buildings are either burnt to the ground or are in the process of it. The Adventurers Guild looks like it's been hit by a meteorite. There is still stone there. It's built along the same lines as your Adventurers Guild. It's like the standard how they're built.
Yeah.
and there are like burn marks all over it, even from this distance. You're on like a hill, is where you can see it.
Yeah.
There are burn marks blackened, and from this distance with the natural 20, you can see, even from this distance, a very large, lashing blue tail coming out of the building. The tail itself looks to be about, you'd estimate from this distance about 2 miles away, the tail is about 60 feet long. Only the tail.
Right. I'ma find the big boss man and inform of what I've just seen. The tail's about 60 feet long.
It's big, blue. It has two. The tip of the tail is actually a double tail, like a fork tongue.
Yeah.
And even from this distance, you can faintly hear like a crack of like a lightning bolt sounding off in the distance when the tail lashes slightly. You can't see lightning. For reference, it's making like a thunderclap though every time it lashes.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna just verbatim tell him everything I saw. This is the information we need.
Yeah, so you go up to Rock, who is like also surveying the areas, looking at the town, and just like, oh jeez, some nasty stuff there. And you point, and you know, you actually do you point to where the tail is because it is still visible to you.
I'll point.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but he's like, yep, that over there.
Yep.
Tell him, blabber, go on. tell him stuff.
Yeah, it's spotted it in that building over there. Tail alone looks like it's 60 feet.
This is why you don't
Also,
trust. This is why you don't trust non-adventurers to give you accurate identification of the monster.
Yeah, its tail's two-pronged. I don't know if that matters.
It's definitely a spark drake then. Still fairly young. You said 60 feet tail. Yeah, is that a whole tail? I can't really tell from here. My eyesight's not what it used to be. Look, he gestures at his one eye.
I don't. Was it the whole tail, or was that just part of the tail?
It was a good chunk of the tail, but you couldn't see like where it started. You could see where it started to widen, what it looked like into the body, but you couldn't see any of the body.
Yeah. I think it was that. Like it's about where it starts widening onto the body, but I can't say for sure.
Right, fair enough. Yeah, probably still fairly young then. We might still have a shot. Juvenile, I'd imagine. And the legendary adventurer walks up and goes, yeah, from the look of it, good eyes on you there.
It happens occasionally.
Yeah, juvenile spark drake. Say the plan should be, I'll take a few of your more hardy or lightning-proof adventurers, and we'll try and distract it. Make a couple companies to try and flank the thing, and looks at you. He looks over at you. You gather together a few more of these. He gives you a glance over. You feel weirdly like he's looking into you.
Oh no, I'm being identified.
Get a few of the ones who are more sturdy for support roles. Make sure that nobody, hopefully, most of us will come back alive.
Yep.
At least 20%. I'll give you that as part of the perception check earlier, but he says at least 20% under his breath.
That's good numbers.
Yeah, for reference, there are about 300 adventurers with you.
Yeah, maybe like 25% would have been like better if I was being optimistic, but
So yeah, do you step to it?
I don't see why I wouldn't.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try and avoid helping out. The more I help, the better this goes.
Yeah, so you start gathering a few of the people you know are like the more support-minded people. Like a lot of veteran adventurers. Since you have apparently been nominated by the legendary adventurer to do it, they are looking to you as if you are their new boss, essentially, for this job at least.
Okay.
You have a party of about 30 people who will basically follow your orders currently. They're all going to be just people I'm not going to specify every single one. But there's
Yeah.
a few people you know that you get on well with. Just like solid lot that you know roughly what they can do.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people seem to be very interested because it seems to... one or two of the others did spot the beastie, and when they hear your guy's job is to keep everybody else okay, they like it. They like the idea of not being the direct line of fire. You see Rock has done some plans and is like talking with people, and he goes, right, things you all need to know. Spark Drakes are nasty sons of bitches. They're not particularly big, they're one of the smaller types of Dragonoid, but they're still a Dragonoid. I want nobody to act stupid or like a hero. Dragonoids are not to be messed with. If we manage to drive this thing back into Neria, we've done a good job. We don't think we're going to get parts off of this one. We need to live, is the priority. So, things it'll do. Stay away from the jaws. Those things can snap through even Titan steel. The tail is another problem. You get hit by that, you're probably dead. And probably anybody near you. If it starts to crackle, get the hell down. They know to be able to breathe lightning and emit it from their bodies in massive bursts. Do not get caught by this or you will be char-grilled in your armor. Doesn't have wings, so we don't have to worry about it flying around. Let Agar take it head on. He might actually live through it. He says with a wry grin towards the adventurer who smiles back. So, any of you more hardy ones, preferably with natural magics designed for resilience and keeping you alive, or be it acting as a lightning rod, go up with him. You guys have the most dangerous job, but you're also getting the best pay if you come back in one piece. Everybody else? 10,000 gold ahead. There's a murmur of, that's a lot of money. For reference, your rent is 20 gold a month.
It puts it into perspective a bit, yeah.
This is a big job, so keep alive on this. And if we all don't make it back, he gives you all a proper, like, fist over heart, like Roman salute, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an honour. I don't expect all of us to come back from this, but those who do will have one hell of a story. And then off in the distance, just at the end of that, like punctuating the end of his sentence, you hear a small, like, rumbling sound that just gets louder and louder and louder and louder. And you can now tell it's a bellowing roar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll keep with the perception check for that one. You look over and you see the thing's head. Probably a good 90 feet away from the tail that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
It's this massive blue horned reptilian head. Think similarly to like the blue dragons in D&D without the big white horn. It's kind of skeletal looking, massive freaking teeth in its mouth.
Yep.
And you hear it roaring. Yeah, I'll keep you in natural 20. You can see around its jaws there's a lot of blood.
Yeah.
It's eating something.
That's fun.
A few of the other adventurers looking a little more nervous. They were looking really like, oh yeah, we're getting paid a lot for this. And then they hear the roar that just splits the sky around. He's like, a little less confident. Ah! What's the worst it can do? Kill you? Goes Edgar. Come on.
I'm not wrong.
Let's get this done. Maybe there's a couple survivors.
I mean, I doubt it, but...
He looks at you like, and just nods slightly.
we've...
So, I want you to now roll me a survival check to see
Yup.
what your knowledge of spark drakes is besides what you've been told.
That's another crit.
Boom! Okay, so what you know of spark drakes, you know quite a lot about them. Yes, they are very large. They're a dragonoid, so they are more or less immune to pretty much every status effect you can think of. They have plenty of damage immunities. They're actually an adult spark drake, sitting at its very comfortable 200 feet long.
Okay.
Of the average, by the way. Big spark drakes are even bigger. They can grow
Yeah.
pretty much forever because they don't stop growing as long as they are. But the average adults tend to get to that size. Because they are, like, still fairly small as far as dragonoids go. Dragonoids get big.
Right.
They are four-legged brutes. Their scales basically will turn aside pretty much any weapon, like a normal dragonoid. Young ones can be harmed by tier 4 weaponry. Anything more than a juvenile requires Titan Steel or better.
Right.
Though the jaws, its main two weapons besides its lightning magic are its jaws, which you basically get caught in its jaws, you're dead. Bro, shut up. There's not a lot you can really do about it. If it bites you, you're fucked. So stay away from the head. And its tail is not as powerful as its jaws, but it can move its tail incredibly quickly. And it uses its tail kind of like a lash, more often than not. It has two ways to emit lightning. When young, at least. You know, they get more ways as they grow older, but while young, they have two primary ways to emit lightning. And there are tells. It's a dragonoid, so it has a breath weapon, which is like it's essentially an explosion of lightning. It's not a line. It's an explosion of lightning. So it's got a short range in front of it, but it'll basically char grill anything that's there. Within a good, 30 feet of its jaws. And its main use of lightning is it can make it's normally like kind of a cobalt blue color. It'll start glowing kind of a neon blue, kind of like Godzilla's back, but the whole body. When it does that, you have basically a round to get 50 feet away from it, or you're probably gonna get torched, because it will just do an explosion of lightning outside of its entire body.
Yeah.
Now, it has to have a bit of a wind up to do it, and a bit of a wind down to do it, but those are the two primary ways it can use lightning. Also, it's not the most intelligent drake. It's one of the least intelligent drakes, but it still has a natural magic. Natural magic are unique to individuals, so you don't know what its natural magic is.
Okay.
It's still a beast. It's a very intelligent beast, but it's a beast. Okay?
Right.
You also, because you've got a natural 20, you know its scales are very useful in armor. And pretty much armor and weapons and anything like that, it's very good for. It's also extremely resistant to basically every kind of element. And completely immune to lightning, unsurprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
As they grow older, they gain certain extra immunities and stuff, but not a lot. You also know that this thing is powerful enough easily to best a legendary adventurer in single combat without much difficulty.
Right.
These things are very, very powerful. You do not fuck with dragonoids, essentially. Even the weakest dragonoids are very strong.
Yeah.
And I will leave you for a minute because my cat is yowling her freaking head off, and I'm going to let her into the kitchen so I can actually concentrate.
Right.
So get some planning.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Mostly thinking that I'm gonna die, but I'm thinking.
Go.
Oh boy. No, it's not often I think someone's gonna die in a session 0, but we might do it. We might accomplish the impossible.
I'm back. I've had people die in session zeros before.
Okay.
You're not dead yet. Yeah, he's not dead yet. See, it could be worse.
It could be.
It's only a little dragon.
It's only an adult.
It's not an adult, thank God. You would be. I'm not that mean. This is a creature that is technically beatable by your.
Technically beatable with this army.
With this army of 300 people, you might be able to drive it away.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am assuming you've had a plan. Not gonna ask what it is yet. And you have a party of 30 very hopeful people who are looking to you for guidance because you appear to be their leader. So they are putting all the responsibility on you.
You know, as it goes. I mean, first things first, obviously, gotta delegate. 30 people's a lot for me to be shouting at during a battle where crazy things are happening. Let's, like, split that into, like, teams of 5 so I don't have to deal with them.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you have, you basically just delegate, like, okay, you guys do this, you guys do this, you guys do this, you guys do this, you guys do this. Mostly your guys' job, you know, is to basically, if you see anybody get dropped that doesn't appear to be dead, get them out of there. If you see any pieces of equipment that are usable, that might actually put some damage in it, like the big spears, get them either into the monster, or get them into the hands of someone else who's gonna put them in the monster.
Yup.
You have your group between you actually has 10 of those spears between you.
Fun.
For reference, it is basically you are considered proficient with it. I'll basically give you proficiency in that weapon. They're not going to come up often. So it's basically going to be you have athletics.
Perhaps I'll check. Yeah, I've got athletics.
Yeah, basically when you need to attack with them. I'm not at all doing what. I'm not at all doing that. What do you mean, Bob? Essentially, every time you do it, make me an you are going to attack one with a weapon. Make me an athletics check with a +4.
Okay.
It's essentially what the thing's going to be, and I will note the amount of damage essentially because I know how much damage they do.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to tell you yet because you might get one later on.
Fun.
They also have a range of roughly like 80 feet. You can hook these things.
It's some damage, some range.
Yeah. But it is 80 feet flat. There is no short range or long range. There is only that range. It's important because that's out of range of the lightning aura. Oh, you got a natural 20 for survival check. Also, you know that the more angry and lower health they get, they just start spewing out more lightning. Potentially, it's just a static field around them that constantly deals damage.
I guess I need to, like, ground this creature.
That would be a way to do it, yes. There are lots of options. You have natural magic, remember. This is why use it, essentially. Remember, you have your proficiency bonus plus your level in points of natural magic. Spend on stuff. Use your imagination. You know what your magic is? We've had a rough description of what it is. Ask me if you can do it, if it's something completely weird.
Yeah, I can move rocks.
Yeah.
Small ones.
You can move small rocks, but you can move a lot of them. So...
Yeah.
So yeah, just remember that kind of stuff, essentially. And you can use it basically freely. You just have it every battle round, you replenish them all at your turn.
Yeah.
Okay. So, preparations are complete. You all start making your way down towards the village. Make me a stealth check, and you're in heavy armor, so with disadvantage.
That's true. That's a 5.
Don't worry, it's a massive armies group stealth check, so some people are going to be good. I'm doing it by unit for reference.
At least like at least 5 people will probably be decent. Depends how many are wearing heavy armor.
A lot of them, but
yeah.
You need to hit a number total for this group check, and thankfully you've got a legendary adventurer with a +40 to stealth.
Nice.
He's not proficient, for reference.
That's a lot of dex for one man to have.
Yep. Okay, you actually all do manage to just about get to the village. Like, you're coming up to the edge of it. You actually are at the edge of a building, like, down the street. There's, like, a main highway towards, like, every adventurer's guild. So you just look down the street. You can see the massive armor-plated form of the Spark Drake crunching down on something, even at this distance of about, let's see, probably like 800, 900 feet away from it.
Okay.
Roll me a perception check to see if you can see, if you want to try and look at what it is currently eating.
Oh, that's only a 10.
10's good enough, actually. You see, it appears to be eating the stables.
Oh,
And you can't hear anything come out other than a sickening crunching noise of bones being sheared through. You've heard a similar sound before, actually. It's normally the sound that happens if an auroch gets picked up by a hydra and eaten.
yeah.
So it's the sound of very, very thick bones being just snapped through, essentially.
Oh, that's great news.
With a 10, you also start noticing a large number of bodies. I won't go into detail, but they're not all there.
Yeah. No surprises there.
And a few piles of ash that you think might have been people.
I mean,
yeah, some magic equipment
guess-
might be around, for reference. You pop into your head. Might be some magic equipment around.
yeah.
Job first.
Job first, magic equipment second. Unless job leads me in the path of magic equipment, in which case pick it up. Because it might be useful.
Yeah. So, you and your team are like around a corner, essentially, and you're starting to... You're basically waiting for the signal. It was organised, there was some kind of signal that would happen.
Okay.
And you wait a couple minutes. Make me a stealth check.
On. That one.
You, after a minute or so, hear the crunching stop.
Yep.
And you hear as in huge nostrils smelling something.
Yep.
And you start hearing a boom, boom, boom.
Is it coming in our general direction or a different
It
direction?
sounds like it's getting louder. What do you do?
Oh, fuck me. Well, this is a dumb animal, and I can move rocks. So I'm probably gonna be like, well, I don't want it heading towards us just yet, so let's make a loud noise with rocks somewhere else.
Okay, so how many points of natural magic are you using just to see how big a noise you're wanting to make?
Well, I have like 6 I can use.
Yeah.
Let's really want to live. I get these per round, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Let's go for 4. 4 feels good.
4's a good number, yeah. So basically, yeah, you get a large amount, or you kind of materialize them and gather them from around the area. They start floating in front of you, like I'd say about a ton of small stones and debris. There's also, like, you notice a bone has been picked up, like, by a few of the rocks, and it's just in there. It's not floating, it's just being kind of jostled between a few.
Yeah.
And you just hurl it across the street. And you hear a bellowing roar, and in the building opposite that you threw all the rocks into, you see the massive form of the Spark Drake just smash its head through the building. It basically just levels the house as this huge beast just smashes its bulk into the house. And it starts just biting down on something inside.
God, I hope no one was in there.
Certainly isn't anymore. What are you planning
There's
on
no
doing now?
in there anymore.
It's got. There's no any there to be anymore.
Where's... really, really waiting for, like, the battle patrol to, like, be here with the signal.
Are you planning on doing anything, or are you just going to stay put? Because you can see it very bodily just across the street from you, with no cover between you.
Oh, fuck. How? Huh? This is... my mind's blanking out. I didn't expect to, be on my own effectively.
You have this small party of people who will do what you tell them.
Right. Well, scattering's probably a somewhat decent idea. Can't hit all of us, in theory.
But it can. But
It can.
you know it can, because you're older than that 20 on what it can do.
Yeah. Alright. I think we probably need a lot of people to take... How likely do you think it is that we could blind it? With one of these big old spears.
You got a natural 20. You do know that the only point on a Dragonoid that is kind of almost weak, while young at least, is the eyes. When they're older, their eyes are actually armor-plated. While young, their eyes are still developing a bit. So, you might be able to, if you can get a good hit. The eyes are pretty large.
Yeah.
They have good vision. So.
Who's placing a lot on getting this? I think I'm gonna... just for the sake of it, though, I'll cast magic weapon on the giant spear first, just in case it matters.
Oh, actually, it might, because it brings up I believe, yeah. So, how
+1
for the audience's reference, because everything in this world is magical, magic weapon as well as your forge cleric ability work a little differently. Basically, instead of making a weapon into a magic weapon, it increases the modifier of a magical weapon by 1 to a maximum of 9. Yep. It can't bring them to +10, but it can bring it up to almost the best weapons imaginable. So, yes, it would actually matter, because damage... certain classes of magic weapon are capable of actually injuring things. As you remember, this thing can be injured by +4 weapons.
Right.
+5 weapons are more effective.
So my current plan, effectively, I guess, is yeet one of this magic spear into its eye, and then with whatever remaining points I've got for this round, just get a shed load of stones and basically punch it in even further.
Okay, so are you because it's currently got its back to you entirely, are you going to make some sort of noise to make it turn its head?
Oh, it seems like a very poor decision, but...
Otherwise you're going to get the shot, is my point. There's about 20 tons of Dragonoid in your way, currently.
I'm going to have to, and I guess I'm just gonna my guys know what they can do. I'm just going to tell them, try not to be in its line of sight, but also help me as much as you physically can.
Okay, got it, boss. A few of them go. They start using their natural magic. You see, one of them actually has a type of wind magic. So, yeah, I'm basically going to be giving you, because of all their help, they're using their natural magic to, like, help you guide it, basically, and one or two of them are, like, making noise to try and draw its ire. And basically, I'm going to need you to make me a athletics check with a +5 with advantage.
Okay.
As I'll roll their noise making to see what it is. Natural
It's-
20.
it's-
They draw it, sire.
That's a dirty 20, not a natural 20.
No, I rolled what they got for
Oh.
making noise. It heard. It really heard them.
Oh,
So yeah, it turns. It starts lifting up. It appears to have bitten straight through a entire bar, and it's currently in its jaws.
yeah.
And it turns its head just as you throw the spear. You
Wait.
get a 25.
That would be, I think, yeah, 25.
Are you
Well,
going-
no, because it would be a +4, because you said I'm proficient. A +1 from it being a magic weapon.
Oh,
I don't-
your proficiency is already counted in. That's why it's athletics.
Oh. Yeah. Duh. I'm a
yeah,
dum-dum.
it's a 20. It's a 25,
25, yeah.
which does.
I hope it's...
It does actually exactly match the AC of its eyes.
Okay.
A 25 just makes it, and you slam it in. So you're using your last 2 points of natural magic, because this is still the same round,
Yeah, for this round.
to just hammer it in. Okay, I'm going to roll some damage.
Really, really want to make this thing blind.
In at least one eye.
It gives me at least a side that I can hide from it. It's a very big creature.
Okay. Would you like to know the amount of damage you just dealt?
Sure.
You just dealt, with that one attack, 196 points of damage
That's a lot of damage.
to one of its eyeballs, because it rams right into its left eye, and the rocks behind it just form up into literally a fist shape, and just smash into the back, driving it deeper. And it screams in pain and anger and just loud. You've pissed it off, definitely.
Yep.
And you see the building to your right. Actually, not to your right. Yeah, because you're on the other side of the street. Building to your left that you were like hiding behind now has just exploded as a huge gout of lightning just smashes into it next to you. There is now essentially, you have a on fire wall between you. The house is no longer there. There is a wall. The only remaining wall is the one you are hiding behind. As this thing now has a giant spear sticking out of its eye, embedded about 6 feet into its head. And you have successfully blinded it in one of its eyes.
Oh, now we just gotta do the other side.
And it looks dead at you. Roll initiative.
I am in danger.
I believe.
That's a 15 on initiative.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I haven't put up the initiative counter yet.
Mm.
I've forgotten how to do that. Yeah, that's it. Okay, that was last week's.
God, if this thing escapes, I'm gonna be haunted by it.
Roll it again, basically. I'll take your first roll, but just roll it again.
Thank God.
Thank God you got the first roll was good.
I'm just straight gonna be hunted by a one-eyed shock tree.
Dragonoid. Okay, your friends are probably boned.
Yep. It might have been worth it. I don't know how much health this thing has. I don't have context on whether 100 damage was good or not.
Okay. They got a lot worse than that, actually. You know what? I'll be nice and I'll let them keep the 13.
Whew.
And big. Is this one? Yep. For reference, that is not actually a 15.
Okay.
Okay. That is all that's currently in initiative, for reference. So it's its turn.
Mm, yeah. Oh, that's a good initiative.
Dragonoids.
Hmm.
Okay, so it's currently staring at you. But
The words
thankfully...
"don't be a hero" echo in my mind.
So luckily for you, it's currently going to try to get the spear out of its eye. It doesn't really have like the full... it's got a body of a four-legged creature. It doesn't have arms like a lot of dragons do. It has like four big, solid, like movement legs. It doesn't really have prehensile things. It's gonna like get its claws and try and like scratch the thing out of its eye, which it doesn't manage to do actually. You got it solidly wrenched in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just remembered something. This is actually one of that class of creature. How do I add another thing to it? I'll just add the adds one to it as well. Nope, that's not the right thing. I remember how I used to do this. This thing gets 2 initiatives. Fuck it, I'll just add the ads in. As a thing. It's not actually ads here, don't worry.
Yep.
And its initiative count for the second one is... Okay. It's actually getting 2 turns before you...
Oh, cool.
This is basically a gauge on how powerful certain monsters are.
Yeah, yeah.
So it fixes its eyes on you. And you see its entire body starting to glow neon blue.
Hmm. That was its second turn that it did that, right?
Yes, it was, thankfully. So now it is your turn. You are currently 50 feet away from it.
Unironically, this is what I was hoping for, as I'm going to yell at everyone to back up. How far from it was it? 80?
Currently, no, it's 50 feet. You are all barely in its line, essentially. So you have to back up 5 feet, technically.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get everyone to back up. I have a dumb idea that's not going to be effective in the slightest. I kind of want to cast heat metal on the giant spear in its eye.
Oh, God.
Slow cook its brain.
Okay, cast it.
Yay!
C14. Well, it automatically passes.
I mean, the pass is just so it can even grab the item to try and pull it out. So...
Okay. Thankfully, there's actually a thing which I do. Which this is actually very poignant. I do locational armor classes, locational damage values, damage vulnerabilities, and immunities. So certain parts of particularly noteworthy monsters will be immune to certain types of damage. Certain types will be vulnerable, or potentially, because I do stacking vulnerability and immunities.
Okay.
The maximum amount of extra damage you can get onto a particular thing is 10 times damage. Which is why you managed to do 190 odd points of damage, because you used a large piercing weapon in a place 5 times vulnerable to piercing damage because it's a fucking eyeball.
Yep.
And it does a lot of damage default. Don't question how it managed to get a not multiple of 5, that is a modifier.
Yep, not questioning.
So yes, you do a heat metal, and for instance, it is not immune to fire damage in its eyes. It is not vulnerable, but it is also, most importantly, not resistant to fire damage in its eyes. So does heat metal take half damage?
Heat metal,
You can click the spell, if you click the spell.
Yeah. Any creature in physical contact with the object takes 2d fire damage when you cast the spell, and until the spell ends, I just use bonus action. Yeah, no, it just takes the full damage. It's literally just that it has to succeed on the save, which it auto succeeds to make an attempt to pull it out.
Yeah. It
It
could
has
natural one.
disadvantage.
It could
It
natural
has
one.
disadvantage on everything until it pulls it out, at least.
Nice. That is actually interesting. For one reason.
Mhm.
Dragonoids have a particular ability called the Greatest Creatures.
Mhm.
They automatically have advantage on everything they do.
Oh,
So you are neutralizing its ability to have advantage on everything at the moment.
yep.
That is very good, to say the least. So, now then. So that's your turn, you cast Heat Metal. What do you do with the rest of your stuff? You have all your extra natural magic back now, by the way.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Um, I. Hmm. Let's see. I probably.
I imagine you're going to move a bit.
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely moving back. Um. Hmm. Honestly, I might like just try and build some degree of cover and stuff. Like, so it might like lose sight of where we are. Like, the wall doesn't necessarily have to be like thick and stop it from like punching through it. It just has to be very long, so that in theory we could be anywhere behind it.
Okay, so you make basically a head-height wall out of small things between the wall that you're currently next to and the next building. There's about 10
Yeah,
feet away.
yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, I'd say that costs you 3 points.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
fine.
It's a lot of rocks you're needing because they're like the biggest rocks you can currently control are about the size of like a small melon. So it would
Yeah,
take a while. Well, it takes
like this,
instant, but you can at least do it. It takes a lot.
like this thing's blind in one eye, so it's gonna have a hard time spotting us now anyway.
A harder time, at least, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you do that, and you step back. Roughly how far would you say you step back?
Um, I'd say I step back about 30 feet because that's my full movement.
Cool. Okay. So yes, now it's your Spod's turns. They are basically going to take cue from you, and they see it starting to glow, and they remember the words. So I need them to make a test. Okay, they fail. They scarper.
Just gone.
Bam! They have literally run their full movement and dashed like 3 buildings down, essentially.
Hot damn.
It's 60 feet. It's not most of the buildings aren't exactly large, especially not anymore. So they are currently 60 feet away from you to the right. They didn't go towards where the lightning bolt took out most of the building. Okay.
Cool.
So it's its turn. At the start of its turn, it makes another bellowing roar. And good thing you step back. Your wall is now dust.
Yep.
The buildings around you are now dust. And the ground, up to about 5 feet away from you, is just pitch black because a massive nova of lightning just explodes out of the creature. Very good that you moved back your full movement, to say the least. Because you did quite a bit of damage to it, and you made it mad. So it augmented its lightning nova.
Yeah.
With its natural magic, interestingly enough. It's still staring daggers at you, and it moves at you. It moves up into range, and
Figures.
it's going to make an attack.
Mm-hmm. I can assume it hits, yeah. I see no reality where this thing rolls.
A natural one?
Oh. I mean, it might.
It did. You are a very lucky man. As it basically gets caught. This was like the one turn, by the way. I was like, oh god, you did that. You pissed it off. I can't say a way out of this one. It natural one. You somehow, by pure luck, trip over something squishy, which you are not going to look at,
Not gonna question it.
and duck as the massive jaws snap closed a millimeter in front of your face as you are flat on your back.
Yeah.
You take only a small amount of acid damage from its drool and a small amount of thunder damage from its jaws closing next to you.
How much is a small amount?
Oh, not very much. You take 10 points of acid damage and 20 points of thunder damage
Okay.
from a miss.
Yeah, so that's minus 30 health and a con save to see if I can maintain concentration. I don't even know if I can. Half of 30 is
It's
15?
it's half. You need to make a 10. You need to make two 10s actually, because
Oh,
it was two different sources of damage that did it.
well, nope.
No, you mean you break concentration
Immediate fail.
from the acid damage. Does it essentially?
It is a shame that my rocks cannot help with concentration.
Unfortunate. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Do you want to use your reaction?
What can I use my reaction for?
I will basically, because you're a shield master. This
Mhm.
is technically not what it's for, but I'll give it because it's close enough. You can interpose your shield between it, so basically you can take the shield, will get the hit from the acid and the thunder, but you'll keep your concentration, and you'll take no damage.
Honestly, it's probably better at this point.
It's like that totally works, essentially.
Yeah.
If you want to, you'll keep the concentration, because you basically put your you basically just like fall backwards and just like put the shield over your eyes.
Yeah. This is fine. This is a very magical shield.
And you hear just you feel the pressure on your arms. Your arms kind of ache as the thunder clap basically impacts onto your arms. And you notice there's some like acid melting into your shield. You can hear the burning.
Okay.
But you're from that, and luckily, its second initiative is to make its tail attack, but it can't tail attack someone it's made a bite attack at.
Yep. Ups ends.
So it just smashes its tail into a nearby building at the other end of the street and just levels another building.
Oh.
And now,
Oh.
it's your turn again. You are on the ground, basically with the dragon's head directly above you.
Right.
It's still got a spear in its eye, though.
Still
For
got a
reference,
spear
by
in its
the way,
eye.
if you didn't heat metal with it, actually want to roll again, you'd have died.
Yeah. Figures.
That heat metal saved your life because it didn't have advantage.
Right. I have like full 6.
You have the 6 back again, yes.
Right. You know, like how Magneto makes a bit of metal float to fly around? Can I just like fucking skedaddle using rocks as a fucking surfboard?
I will allow it in a way for a hilarious reason.
What?
Basically, how I just imagined it, you're currently on your back, you're prone.
Yep.
The rocks, you can basically get as many round rocks materialize as possible and just literally roll out of there.
Yep.
You've got a small bed of rocks. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you can move. How many points are you putting in? It will basically determine how far you can move.
4.
4 points again, okay.
I want to be out of her.
Yeah, basically I'll let it be, because you're spending 4 points, I'll basically be at 30 feet per point.
I've caught up with the squad.
You just roll out of there. Do you want to use your movement to not be prone anymore?
Yes, I would love to.
Yeah, you've gone past the squad, actually.
Right, yep.
Your squad are now behind you, and you hear a roar of pissed off. I'd say anger. No, he's real mad right now. As the Drake turns its head to stare down at you, the squad is now going to catch up to you and just go, "Why are you bringing it towards us?
Why are you running?
Have you seen it?
If you're that scared, go message the commander and get the rest of the fuckers here.
We already did. That's where Colin's gone."
God.
A different Colin, not the Tusk guy. Yeah, you actually notice that there's only like there's only like 3 of your adventuring buddies. One of them's just scarpered the other direction.
Yeah. All right. Fuck.
You still have your action and your bonus action.
Okay.
You can heat metal again if you want.
I mean, bonus action to the heat metal, obviously.
Okay.
Not good damage.
Yeah, it passed again. Basically, if it doesn't roll a natural 1, it passes. But
Yeah. I mean, if it rolls a natural 1, it doesn't get to make an attempt to pull a spear out of its eye. Is about all that does. What the hell can I do right now?
You still got 2 points of natural magic, remember? And an action.
Right.
Remember, you can use your you can augment your actions and bonus action things with natural magic if you want.
Yeah. Issue is 90% of my spells are concentration. And I don't want to lose the concentration on heat metal.
That's very fair. You can just do stuff with your natural magic if you want, as an action.
Yeah.
If you can think of something that your natural magic could do, you can throw it out and maybe it works. That's kind of one of the point of these session zeros.
Right. I only have like 2 points. Weird question. Would I know how its like vision works?
You did get a natural 20 earlier, so I'll give you that. It's got telescopic vision, like pretty much all humanoids. It has, I'll actually give you the numbers. It has 2,000 feet of true sight. It has 2 miles of blind sight.
Okay.
Through numerous means. It has incredibly keen smell, incredibly keen vision, dark vision. Basically, it has pretty much everything.
Right.
And it has tremor sense.
Can I just like fucking feel like Sanctuary is a good idea? It's not gonna help me much, but it does something. I don't know if this.
Any creature that targets the water creature with attack or harms from the business creature must choose to get there. Okay.
I could do that. I was trying to click to see what the description was and accidentally cast her, but that's fine.
I mean, you could have asked it like, would this work? Essentially.
I mean, would it work? I have doubts. The save DC is 13. I think it would only fail if it nat 1.
Yes, but still, it'll at least cause it to. It is an intelligent for an animal, but it's still a dragon, so it's still not dumb, to say the least.
Yeah.
So if it sees multiple people, it can probably figure out there's other things, and you might deter it. It's currently very mad at you, though, so it might not.
Yeah.
But
So my current plan, I assume there's buildings nearby.
what's left of them, yes.
Yeah, what's left of them? I can, just use like whatever half movement I've got left after standing up to get behind any degree of cover. At which point I'm gonna, I guess, I'm gonna use the hide action, then bonus action cast Sanctuary on myself, and use my 2 remaining points.
You already used your bonus action to heat metal.
Oh yeah, fuck. Whoops. You know what? Forget the Sanctuary. I'll just cover myself in rocks, try and blend into the territory. Hide action, and I'm now a pile of rubble.
You are now part of the chimney. Next to you that's still standing somehow.
Yeah.
I'd say 2 points is enough to get enough rocks to do that. Yeah, you're
Cool. I
currently
get.
essentially hiding in a pile of rocks. So
Yeah.
it is now your allies' turn, who are just going to beeline straight past you and keep
Yep.
running.
Yeah. Fair.
Now I
I.
have something interesting to roll, don't I? It's still got
I.
disadvantage. It's still neutral. Well, fair enough. That's his sums up. My rolls are not good today, by the way.
God.
Yeah. So basically, Dragon Thing can't tell the difference between people. Currently sees running people, is mad, going after them.
Right.
You see, as it, you bear in mind, were essentially at this point 150 feet away from it.
Mhm.
It barrels past you in one move, and is
Yep.
catching up to your friends, who are
Yep.
currently. Well, how far did they move? They moved. They're at 180. It catches them.
Okay.
It's going to bite. It's going to use its action to do its double bite.
Okay.
Well, they're dead. You can't see at the moment because you're hidden. You hear two screams rapidly cut off with a crunch. And then you hear the last person screaming. You hear a swish and a thunderclap. And you can still hear him screaming, but it's getting a lot further away very quickly.
Right.
And then in the distance you hear a doof of something very large hitting the ground heavily from a good distance away.
This is great.
And now it turns around and it's going to make a perception check. And this thankfully is its second turn. You hear it turn around back again towards where you're hiding.
Mm.
At least in the direction. You can hear it breathing again.
Yeah.
And thankfully for you, the next person to go isn't you.
Oh, thank God. Jesus Christ.
You're welcome for the horror. Okay, so this is... I'll basically use Ally 2 is now a different initiative, because your three friends are very dead. Okay, so they got... That's a pretty good roll. And this is one individual is the next one. So Ally 1. That is not that number. That is a... that. You can probably figure out who the 56 is. You hear from the next person a very familiar voice at this point. Come on then, you overgrown lizard! It's Ager, and you hear a swing and a slicing noise. It sounds like a... the description would probably be a chainsaw cutting into like steel, essentially.
Yeah.
It's a massive clanging, gripping noise, and a snarl of the huge dragon in front of you. Your allies have finally showed up.
How fucking time!
Yeah, he's gonna make his... he only has one attack.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a big attack.
Yeah.
And yeah, he slashes in, and he actually has dealt some damage to it. You can't really see anything at the moment, because you're still hiding in rocks.
Yep.
And Ally 2, you can basically hear like a bunch of other people like going, "Ah, just get it!" And you hear basically everyone else like charging and starting to attack it. Most of them, from the clanging noise of rebounding weapons, don't seem to be doing too well. but there's a
Yep.
couple of roars and there's like heavy thunks, so you can assume a couple more of the spears have landed in it.
Yeah.
Though you don't hear anything quite as heart-rending and ear-splitting as the bellow that you made it come out with, so you don't think any of them have like put it in his eyes or anything.
Yeah.
It's definitely, you can hear some like some hitting meat underneath the armor plating. So
Yeah.
okay, so it is now your turn. They have done quite a bit of damage to it, but you can't currently see.
Well, I mean, I can just get out of hiding at this stage. It's probably still right next to me, but you know.
Yeah, you can. When you unhide, you see that Agar has like sliced into like one of its legs, like one of its front legs with his trident, and all the other adventurers are like attacking. It has like 4 of the big spears like into its side or back armor.
Yeah.
2 of them appear to have rebounded, but 4 of them have landed and actually made solid hits.
Okay.
And that's basically what you see. It appears to not to be particularly concentrating on you right now, as it's roaring and lashing out at people.
God. Right. It is a shame that my channel divinity takes an hour. I had ideas. Oh well. Let's see. I could go simple, just a guiding bolt, but that's for fun in there. Oh man, I could just do a guiding bolt covered in rocks. Who
Yeah.
wouldn't like
You
a
totally
guiding
can.
bolt covered in rocks?
You totally can.
Um, hmm. Honestly, I might spend some of my my earth stuff to try and, you know, send the big spears that like bounced off back to the people who were throwing them.
Yeah.
Alternatively, just big rock hands stabbing them in from point blank. Either works.
Yeah, you can do either. You can do that if you like.
Yeah. You know what? I'll
How many points do you spend on it?
You know what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attempt a guiding bolt on it, which will probably miss. But if it hits, that's when the spear things are gonna do it.
Okay. Yep. How many
do
points are you spending on which bits? Like how many points are you spending on the guiding bolt with rocks, and how many of the rocks are you sending either the spears into it or sending them back to the people?
I think I'm gonna try and put the spears into it. I think I might just put all 6 points into the spears.
Okay.
I really don't think this guiding bolt will hit, but you know,
Hey, it might.
it might. It did.
It did! Jesus, that's not too bad damage. Where did you aim? By the way, did you just aim at it?
I aim wherever the spears are going to be hitting it, so they get advantage.
Okay, I go. You go with the like underside section of it, and
Yeah.
this big. How do you describe it? What happens with the hammer or whatever the fuck you want to be hitting into it? Essentially, be a pie for all I care.
God, what my guiding bolt. God, it probably is. It's probably just It's probably what appears to be like a red hot hammer. And where it hits, it like leaves a branding mark, and that's like the aim here, dipshits.
You smash the hammer, the magical hammer in. It didn't do as much damage as you'd think.
Yeah.
But it did damage.
That's the important part, because it makes those spears at advantage. Well, it makes the next hit at advantage, I think. But...
That is my way of saying it's resistant to radiant damage.
Yeah, no, I figured.
And yeah, so you're using 6 points. There's 2 spears, so I'm assuming it's 3 in each.
I guess.
So make me the athletics checks again. These are +4s.
Okay.
But add in another +3 for each one. for the amount of magic you're doing, you'll do more damage because you're using your natural magic on it.
Okay.
It's +7 essentially.
Well, 19 plus 7 is 26.
Oh, that's got advantage as well. Remember that one.
Oh, let me just click again. Oh, it's a crit.
All right.
Crit plus 7. Oh my goodness. And I guess the second one doesn't have advantage.
No, it was the first hit, and that was the first one.
Yeah. So, the other one was only a 12 plus 7.
Oh, that one completely
19.
rebounds. That one completely
Yeah.
rebounds.
That's fine.
But that natural 20 does not. That one sinks deep into its gut, essentially, where you left the brand.
I keep accidentally pissing this thing off, don't I?
Yes, you do. You keep critting it. You've crit it twice so far, and you hit it in its eye. Yeah, it is not happy. Currently, it's not, like, super mad about that. You hurt it. You drove it deep into its side, you fucking hurt it. For reference there, by the way, you did 94 damage.
Yep.
For that spear.
Decent.
It's
Also,
good.
you know, bonus action is
Heat metal again.
heat metal.
Okay.
Gotta
Well,
keep it going. Only 7 this time.
It's adding up, is the thing. It's extra
Yeah,
damage.
When will this thing run away?
Yeah, it's currently pissed off, is the main thing. Okay.
I'd try and calm emotions, but I'd never succeed.
It's immune.
Oh, it's immune to being magically told, calm down, mate.
Yeah. You remember when I said it's immune to pretty much every status effect?
Yeah.
What an understatement. It's a dragon.
Yo.
My dragons do not pull punches.
They're good dragons.
Yeah. Yep, so, yeah, you stab right into its gut. You actually notice, it goes in a little easier than you thought as well. Almost
It's
like
got
it's
a soft underbelly.
It's got a soft underbelly!
Weird.
Okay.
God.
Now it is the dragon's turn. Well, its first turn. Okay. So, first of all, this time...
I'm not the biggest problem here.
Yeah, you're not, and it's kind of aware of that. It's not dumb. Also, your spear strike didn't do as much as Egar's trident, so
Yeah.
it's got a new pissed off target. Although your first spear did actually do more damage than him, so congrats, you outdid a legendary adventurer.
Neat.
Yeah. So it snarls its fury, and it rears back its head and tries to do a huge full body chomp. The same one that actually tried to do at you. Actually, you're recognizing the pose that it was taking. It's the same one it did try and hit you with it when it nearly sliced you in half. That hit. Okay. So it snatches up the legendary adventurer, and you hear it crunch into his chest. You see a lot of just gouts of blood coming out of him as it just picks him clean off the ground, snapping into him. And he takes... Do you want to know?
You know, yeah, go for it.
He takes 785 damage of piercing. 13 acid.
Whew. So worried about the acid one.
And 420 points of lightning damage.
You know, I feel like I'm effectively just doing the best I can do right now.
You've done work, dude, honestly. And as those jaws close, you notice maybe a perception check.
Is
Or
this the time
or an investigation check, one of the two.
Well, perception's wisdom, and investigation, I'm pretty sure, is int. So, perception, it's a 19.
19? 19? Yeah, you
19.
you spot something weird happening around Ego. So
Mm-hmm.
anyone that's gotten a hit like that, you just go, oh, he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
You just accepted it. Around him, in its jaws, you see a weird thing start to happen. You see his like arm has been almost completely severed with his trident still clenched in his fist, and black smoke starts like wisping out of it, and just knitting his arm like in a jerky motion back onto his body. And you see like the teeth as it like lets go and just drops him onto the ground in a crumpled, bloody, crushed heap. The smoke is coming out of every one of the puncture wounds, and it's just jerkily like putting bones back into his body. And they're slowly, not exactly healing the injuries, but getting him into like functional person again.
Right.
And he stands back up and goes, as his jaw like reconstitutes itself, "Your best you got."
Dude, what did you eat for breakfast?
And yeah, its next action for its second turn is it swings its huge lash tail at a company of like 20 people, and you see it cracks out its tail in in the middle of it. It doesn't look like it physically hit any of them, and you just see a shockwave and explosion of just sound. You hear like the same thunderclap that was from earlier, but in a much more condensed area, and you see the three people closest to the tail lash explode.
Ah, just a fine mist.
A few, yeah, just bam. Well, not a fine mist. There's parts left. And a few of the others, like around, they just blood coming out of their ears, and they just collapse in heaps on the ground, very clearly dead.
Yeah.
And one or two of the others has fallen conscious. And it just dealt with 20 people. 15 dead, 5 unconscious.
Fun.
It is now Egar's turn again.
Hmm.
The dragon looks kind of surprised that something's lived through its jaws.
Yeah.
As he then like dives underneath it, like he notices. Actually, I'll do it. Yes, he does notice. He notices your thing you did, the spear into its side, and he notices its underbelly's a little bit weaker.
Yep.
And he doesn't think, he basically does like a diving slide, 2 hands his trident, and like brings the edge of it in a arc around, like leaves a big line across its underbelly.
Yeah.
He deals another quite large amount of damage. And
I would imagine.
you see like this blackish red blood start to just drip out of the slash he's made in the dragon's gut, and it like snarls at him again.
Cool.
Now it's your next set of allies' turn. Yeah, he only gets 1 attack a turn, but it's a good attack.
Yeah.
Next is your ally, everybody else, basically. You actually see Rock, like, lumber up to you and go, "Did you do that to its eye?
Yeah.
Nice work, you damn idiot!" And he swings his hammer like Thor does with Mjolnir, he just spins it.
Yeah.
And just brings it down onto the back of the spear that you put into its eye. Yep. He hits, and you hear just the sound that Mjolnir made when it hit Captain America's shield?
Yeah.
A similar effect to that. You can see a visible blue shockwave come out of his glowing hammer as he just dong.
That's still like heat metalled as well, so that's probably like spread out inside its head now.
It's a red hot spike. It juts another foot into its skull, and it screams at it. It's got like a It's like 6 feet into its head. It's got like a 15-foot head
Yeah.
wide, so it's a big head. So it looks like it's definitely into its eye, probably maybe through its eye at this point, but
Fun.
it's not gotten too much further. You can probably guess. And it
Yeah, I
just
imagine
dong.
bones are hard to get through.
Dragon bone is, the strongest material in the world. Not necessarily this dragon's bones, but dragon bone in general. So you imagine it's probably fairly similar.
Yeah.
And yeah, it screams out in pain again. And it's actually going to do something now. Because it's actually taken enough damage. You notice the air around is suddenly crackling
Right.
with ozone. And everyone nearby now takes... Oh yeah, you'll have had time to heal the piercing damage from earlier, by the way. You've had 2 long rests.
Oh yeah, no, I did. I did. I technically, because of the shield thing that you did before, have yet to been hit by this thing.
Well,
I think if I was hit once, I would be dead, to be fair.
don't worry, you've technically not been hit. Its passive aura is now kicked in.
Yup.
You take 50 points of lightning damage.
Cool, I'm on 2 health.
Its aura, I'll tell you this because it's a bit of a meta one. I wouldn't normally do this in a session, but it's a session 0. It's giving ideas. A passive aura, every turn, does 50 points of lightning damage. Flat. Doesn't require to roll to hit, no saving throws, it just does it. To everything in the area. Which technically would include itself, but it's immune to lightning.
Yeah.
So...
Right. How do I counter this ridiculous aura?
It's an aura, bear in mind, is only 10 feet around it at the moment. You're in a bit much point blank.
At the moment.
I have no idea what you mean.
If that aura gets bigger and bigger... Ugh.
But yeah, it is now your turn. Basically, all the others are still doing like their bits. They're like stabbing into it. They're pulling people away who might be alive. Things like that. They're all doing their jobs. You actually see the little person who was your 4th person, the only one surviving left of your team. He's trying his best. He's got a little pick. He's like hitting at. He's hitting towards its tail. He's missing more often than not. He's the rookie. But he's trying. Bless him.
God bless him. I need to not be near this thing.
And now it's your turn, yes.
I don't even know how close I am to her.
Within 10 feet.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's about it. I'm not a stickler for distances, essentially.
I should probably... If I ran away, it's not gonna, like, use its reaction to hit me, probably. There's a lot of people here. It would be weird if it was, like, specifically that guy. Like, round this. If it's just, like, electricity in there, is it coming from it, or is it just in the air?
In the air.
Okay.
You can tell you can probably guess it's coming from it in general, but it's no like obvious points that you can spot that it's like channeling it out of.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna like, move back. I don't want to be there.
That's fair. Yeah, you can move your distance out.
And
You're pretty charred at the moment.
yeah. Could heal myself, I guess, in theory.
Mhm. Oh yeah, by the way, the lightning aura didn't do a con check. It's just passive damage. Passive damage in my game I don't do as will break your concentration. That's a little harsh.
Fun.
Unless it downs you, then it will.
Oh yeah, that probably would have completely balked my concentration. I forgot about that. I there's not a reality here where me healing myself stops me from dying. So I guess what I can do is there's one more spear that's like bounced off it, right? Just currently on the floor.
Yeah.
Um, think I think I'll try and like grab that while I'm, backing the fuck away from it.
Yeah, I'd say you can do that.
Um, I might try and go for its other eye, but I don't know if I should.
Where you are at the moment, its eye is on the far side of you.
All right,
So it'll be a little tricky.
I'll work on it. Don't worry. I have 6 points of stone nonsense to work with.
You do.
Um,
You could potentially like use your stone to make a like staircase or something and just move up.
um, oh, it could be cool. Just like 2 points to basically springboard myself up on a pillar, and then the rest of them to yeet this fucker in the eye.
Yeah, that could try. You could try that.
Yeah. God, I am just doing shit that's gonna get me killed.
You are really annoying it. I'll tell you that for a fact.
But hey, I might get its eye. That's the dream.
That is the
So
dream
just,
shot.
just athletics, I guess.
This time, because you don't have the multiple people boosting you, this is with
Yeah.
disadvantage.
Ah, cool.
It is +4, plus... How many magic points you did? You said it was 2 to try and to help go into it?
It was two to like get myself the height needed, and then four
Oh,
to
4. Yeah, so it's
to-
It's basically athletics with disadvantage +8.
Okay, athletics with disadvantage, and add 8 to it. 21 does not meet the eye DC. I
Yeah,
know
you
that.
remembered. Yeah,
It's 25.
it clangs off of its head, essentially.
Yeah, well,
It's an eye ridge, but you are still up in the air.
yeah, hopefully high enough to not be in a Tora.
Yeah, you're like 20 feet away from it as well, so it's a
Cool.
bit away.
There we go.
Now, so the spear pings off completely. Now it's on the far side of it. There's a few more spears sticking out of it in general. Now and a couple more on the ground.
Yeah.
More people are throwing them at it, essentially. It's actually not crazy. It's actually doing quite a bit of damage.
Yeah.
But its turn. So, it is confused by the legendary adventurer. So, what's it going to do to him? Ah! It uses its intelligence, actually, to do something interesting. You see it very rapidly, like, it just looks with its one remaining eye at the legendary adventurer. And quick as a flash, spins half its body around and whacks him with its tail. He needs to make a strength save.
I'll try to yeet him
He
away.
fails. Boom! He
I had
just
the
get,
weight of my stones.
he just got hit like a fucking cricket bat.
Yeah.
He went for 6, I'll tell you that for a fact. He gets pinged 1,890 feet away.
Yeah, so I don't think he's here for this.
Boom! You see, as he's been impacted with that, you see the black smoke. On his way out, the black smoke is reconstituting his broken in half body as it looked.
Right.
The gods damn it!
Alright.
Flying away. Then he's actually turned around, so he's now facing a bunch of the other adventurers. And it breathes in. You see lightning flashing. Its eye is now actually on the right side for you.
Shame that the spear isn't.
it breathes in its huge breath, and you see the one remaining eye is now glowing like gold and blue. And it just barks out a quick roar. Everything directly in front of it, 30 feet, which is... Oh dear. Not you, don't worry. And not your buddy, because he was on the other side of it. 105 adventurers just turned to ash as the lightning explosion just charred grills all of them, completely melting into just little piles of ash in front of it now. There's still a lot more adventurers there, but you just lost about a third of your number.
Yep.
It is looking pretty hurt. There are about 30 spears sticking out of it. There's the spear in its eye from your side. There's multiple big gashes in it from a few of the other weapons, and what looks like a hell of a bruise that probably a magically enchanted hammer from someone you know, which might have done.
Probably.
And it's still got that big cut, which is bleeding quite badly now, actually. And Rox is basically just gonna smash his hammer a few times into its leg, try to drive it back, and misses, hits. Okay. You can hear a big crunch noise. A few of them you feel deflect. Then he gets a solid smash into its rear leg with his hammer. Now it's your turn again.
Right. God, dude got sent so far away. I cannot imagine there's a way for me to get him back at this point.
He's over a kilometer away, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that probably won't work. I doubt this city has any degree of sewer system.
No.
No, yeah, figures.
It has a what's it called? Cesspit.
Cesspit?
I say a cesspit. Basically a big fucking hole in the ground which has toilets over the top of it.
Right.
You do know most of the towns in Drawdor, it is a magical incinerator, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of a... It's some form of electric magic usually is put into them, which just destroys any matter that goes into it. That's common in Drawdor.
Inherently useless in this situation.
I mean, there's moving parts in it as well, so...
Yeah, I mean, but I doubt it's near here.
Let's check. It's actually not too far away. It's a couple buildings over. You're kind of on the edge of the town at the moment, so.
Right.
It's not a super big town, so you're not crazy far away. It's say 200 feet.
Right.
It is on the far side of the dragon, though.
Yeah, where its tail is.
No, its head's currently there.
Oh, where its head is.
It's where its tail was, but then it sent the legendary adventurer flying and grilled a bunch of adventurers.
Yeah. Right, so I'm nowhere near that anyway. If I'm where the head was, which was where the tail now is.
You're a bit of a distance away from it to on its right side, essentially.
Yeah.
See, it's biting, snapping at a few other adventurers and lashing its tail.
How close is my one remaining team member to the spear?
He's currently petrified directly underneath the head of the dragon.
Ah.
He is, basically, he has gone completely white because if he had been 5 feet further back, he would have been turned into a small pile of ash.
Yeah.
So he is about 10 feet from the spear.
kind of wanna. I want to yell to him to get the spear to me.
You can try that.
I don't think it'll work, but I want to try.
It's worth it. It's worth a shot. Make me a Constitution check. I'm gonna go to see how loudly you can yell, and he's gonna make a perception check as well to see how well he can hear.
It's only a 13.
He didn't get too bad a roll. Yeah, he can. He hears you. He like looks up at you, just horrified. He's shaking. You knew this was like his first week.
Yeah.
So first week he comes up against this. So yeah, you're gonna have to make a check to basically bolster him in some way. Use whatever words you like and make a check that you think would do it. But he's not gonna move at the moment. He's too scared.
Okay. How the fuck am I gonna convince this guy?
This kid, essentially.
This kid.
He's in like 18, probably.
Yeah.
Fresh-faced newbie in shiny armor. Well, not shiny anymore, but was shiny armor. What was brief earlier today shiny armor.
Yeah. Alright. What would I can't imagine there's words that could actually like convince him to do something, so I might just have to go ahead with like, army commander, yell at someone loud enough to make them cry.
That could work. Yeah, use your words, and I'll see if you can get any bonuses to this essentially.
All right.
His name's Kirk, for reference.
Yeah, listen up, Kerr. You call yourself a Droden?
and then you just keep going.
You're standing there, pussyfooting about. Do your goddamn job.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, if you're not helping us beat this thing, you're getting in the way.
Nice words. Okay, I am going to make an intimidation check with advantage.
Oh, man. Shame my charisma is not great. It's a 17.
17's good. Let's see. He gets advantage on his wisdom save to go against its passive terror.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to outscare a dragon effectively.
Hey, you passed enough because it hasn't used any of its actual terror abilities. So.
Yeah.
It passed by enough that he goes, "Yes, sir!" And he rushes over to the spear and just clumsily chucks it at you.
Right.
Not point first. It's kind of spinning through the air. You're gonna have to be a check to. I'll basically go. Let this be athletics. I'll be kind.
Cool.
To try and catch this spinning weapon.
Don't fail me now. 13.
That's good enough. He's a kid, but he's strong, so he was like pitched at you essentially. So you catch it neatly.
Yeah.
In there.
We're going for the other eye with the same technique I used before, the guiding bolt and the 6 points into a single spear.
Okay, roll it.
So let's see if this guiding bolt works. That does not hit anything.
No, it actually hits the eye and doesn't do anything to it.
Yeah. Well.
The dragon didn't appear to notice.
6 points of stone magic into. Man, what would this visually even be?
You're about to just throw a Dragonator at a dragon.
Yeah. I'm just picturing like Zhongli's meteor thing, except it's a giant spear.
Oh, wait a minute. Have you played Sekiro?
Yeah, yeah,
You know where he jumps into the air against the dragon and is about to throw the lightning bolt? He kind of catches it in one hand.
yeah,
You're basically doing that. You like lean up in the sky and just hurl it down.
yeah.
A flat roll, athletics +6. Well, +10 actually, because 6 points plus the 4 points of the enchanted weapon.
Cool. 16 plus
Yep.
10, 26.
Hits 20. AC 25
Barely.
eyeball. BAM! You slam it into its other eye. Not quite as much force this time as was the
No.
previous one. The previous one had a bunch of extra buffs on it, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
And was a more powerful magic weapon. But you sink it deep into its eye for another 140 damage. And it howls to the world. It screams. You actually notice everybody around it. You're currently 30 feet back and about 30 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Everything around the base of your tower and everyone within about 30 feet of it is now just bathed in that same crackling lightning that you were seeing before, but it seems even more intense.
Yeah.
There's just a
Blind
sea
now.
of lightning below you. It is now visually blind, yes.
And at least one of those eyes, it's permanently blind, because that shit's quarterized inside.
You're gonna do your
Oh yeah, bonus action. Heat
metal.
heat metal. Because we're effective here.
Okay, yeah. Another 11 points is still still at disadvantage, but you're at least you're putting a lot of annoyance onto it, and now it's got 2 giant spears in its head.
Yup.
Okay, so back to its turn. By the way, you are currently falling
Ah.
because you put all 6 points into your rocks, so you didn't have any rocks into your.
Well, if I've fallen 30 feet, there is no capacity for me to not be down.
You're not. You're in the process of falling at the moment because,
Okay.
luckily for you, basically you're far enough up that it's taking a good bit of time to get down. So it's going to use this a bit. It's basically its turns are going to go before you hit the ground.
Fun.
So firstly, what it's going to do, you're conveniently up in the air. It doesn't know this. It's going to use its natural magic. This thing's natural magic. It's called, just simply, ability boost. It can change parts of it. It's a life-based natural magic that allows it to augment its own natural capabilities. Anything it would normally be able to do, it can speed them up, enhance them, all that kind of stuff. And what it is going to do is it is going to do ability boost with all... how many points does it have? You know what? Fuck it. It's mad. It's putting every one of its natural magic points into ability boost and putting them all into its lightning nova ability. That big explosion it did originally.
Oh, fuck.
Don't worry. You're high up in the air and it goes along the ground, this ability. I can tell you that because what is about to happen. Weirdly enough, actually, you notice your good buddy Rock.
Mm-hmm.
He was just caught in the dragon lashing itself around, so he's currently not attached to the ground. Almost like his natural magic Lucky is activated.
Yup.
And it explodes in lightning. Huge shearing bolts obliterate anything that was connected to the ground within a solid 1,000 feet of it.
Ah, so, city's gone.
Lightning just surges through the ground. Anything metal that was attached to the ground is now just basically a Tesla coil. And lightning is just flashing through from building to building. Everything is ignited. The wood is insulated, right? So it doesn't conduct electricity. But it does burst into flames. Every single wooden building, which is basically the entire town, is just completely combusted. The stone walls of the Adventurers Guild just shatter and explode from the detonation that just happened. And all the other adventurers, all about 200 of them, are instantly turned to ash.
Yep.
As they take a grand total of 3,700 lightning damage.
Yep.
And then the dragon pants, sniffs around. Even its sense of smell can only at the moment tell ozone. And it just sniffs into an area, sniffs, like, looks, it swings its head towards you, snarls, swipes his head away from you, and just bolts off in northwards, essentially. It's got a slight lip to its back leg. But you have, at the cost of about 300 adventurers' lives, successfully driven off the Spark Drake.
Fucking hell.
And then you impact into the ground and take 1 point of falling damage because I'm kind.
Woo! We made it on 1, boys.
I remember he's like, you said you were on 2 earlier, so I remembered how much health you had left. Okay, we can now turn off initiative. Congrats! You just beat up something that could have killed the Tarrasque.
Fun.
At level 4.
Did have an army.
He had an army, but the army mostly died.
Have is the key word.
Yeah, Rock is currently unconscious.
Yep.
You are charred, bleeding, burnt, covered in cuts and bruises, but you're still on your feet. You're staggering around. And then, from around a building, you basically take a minute to just compose yourself.
Oh. Wait. Out of curiosity,
Yeah.
depending on how low health it is, I could just bonus action heat metal for the remainder of its duration.
I'm gonna be honest, it's still got over 2,000 health left.
Okay, Jesus Christ.
You fucked it up, but it's decided, you know what? This isn't worth it. Essentially, and it's fucking off back home.
Christ.
Rough equivalent, by the way, that creature would be about a CR 90, using the D&D normal books.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. If you do much more damage to it, it might decide, you know what, I'm mad at you. Essentially.
Yeah. You know what? I honestly, I'm probably gonna drop the concentration at this point.
Yeah. You don't need it. It's gone. It's probably not going to come back, you hope. Or at least not anytime soon.
At the very least,
eyes, essentially.
It's definitely not getting one of those back, Jesus.
It could. It might. They do. Dragons all have a certain amount of regenerative ability, so it might get them back. It's debatable.
Water eyes and literally touching the bone inside its head.
I have to roll to see if it will eventually get them back, but yes. On the one you burnt, at least. The other ones come back, naturally. And you see, walking around the corner, looking not perfectly fine, is Eager. Trident slung over one shoulder, just casually walking, going, well, nicely done. I have to say, I didn't think this particular job would be that entertaining, but I guess it was.
I think your percentage was a little bit off.
He was a little older than I thought, but still, juvenile's a juvenile, and it's a dragon. Congrats, you survived. Most wouldn't do that. And I couldn't help but notice, so you're a learned caster, aren't you? Basically,
yes.
It's not... Learned casters are like any of the classes in D&D that are considered a spellcaster. So clerics...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you are. You actively showed off your magic that wasn't natural magic in front of him, essentially.
Yeah.
Right. Nice. So, I've got a little proposition for you. And obviously, your old boss, who is currently there. I think we'll bring him along as well. See, I've got some clients that have an urge, let's say, for some learned casters and formidable people. So, you're gonna come along quietly now, right? Hefting his trident in one hand with a nice smiling grin.
I guess I don't have a choice.
Correct. Smart guy, I like you. You do understand, it's just part of the job. I was going on this contract simply because it's a bit of extra cash and it'd look a bit shady if I decided not to. But you know how things go. I've got a bunch of other people and a few carts one town over. I'm sure you'll come on fine.
I mean, hey, well, worse things could happen.
Probably not,
Heck.
but still.
I could have been on the ground.
Possibly.
Hmm.
So, come along now, and he pokes you with his trident. And he just hefts your buddy over his rock over his shoulder.
Just out of curiosity, why didn't you use the chains?
Ha. Few reasons. One, never never show off all your tricks. Two, wouldn't have bound something quite that big. And three,
Yeah, but it might have stopped you from flying away.
oh, and get hit by that lightning blast? No thanks.
You would have been fine. Look at you. Barely a scratch. Well, a lot of scratches, but you look fine.
You actually see, looking at him, you can see right through him in multiple places where the teeth bit in.
Yeah.
He doesn't appear to be concerned in any way.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the natural magic, isn't it? And he, puts one of his hands through his body. Very handy one, this. It'll heal up eventually, don't worry about it.
I wasn't.
Good. So, and he actually goes away from a nice, happy-looking face to a very much more serious face. Get your ass moving now, boy.
Right. God, let me just make this easier, huh? I'll cast Cure Wounds on unconscious guy, maybe waking him up.
Oh, yeah. That'll wake him up. He's over one shoulder. Like, what happened? And Edgar goes, why did you do that? And just smashes him in the face.
I don't want to carry him. Have you seen how big he is?
Yes, that's why I'm carrying him. Now get moving. We've got a long way to go, and for reference, and he flicks his trident slightly, and the chains just clasp around your arms, just clamping them completely together. Oh, actually, no. You know what? I'll be generous first. Let's have a look at what survived, right? That's always the most fun part of any mission.
Well, I can guarantee, no people.
That's even better. It's always annoying when you have to kill them all. So, you basically in here, you are being forced to go and look around for items.
Cool. Great.
Which, I will roll up a couple of items off stream. Because we're kind of short on time now.
Okay.
But I will get you one item particularly. So, one particularly noteworthy item that you find is a hammer. Big ass warhammer. It particularly notes out to you. It's got some kind of interesting little effect to do with shockwaves. You can from your casual glance. You have to do much more of a check for it. If you'd like, you can. To get a bit more of the information about it. But you can tell it's got something to do with shockwaves.
Sure, I'll give it a check. Is that Arcana again?
Arcana or Investigation. It's whatever you used for the previous, like, looking at magic item stuff.
I think I used Arcana. 16.
Okay. So this, what you can tell looking at it, is a +2 Warhammer. It also, in addition, deals 1d6 thunder damage. And you can, on a hit, you can potentially do an ability called a Reverberation. In which case, every enemy basically in melee with you will take that thunder damage in addition to the normal target, which takes double that. And you are forced to put that among other bunch of items in a bag, essentially. So, I guess that's what we're getting. Now, do move along, and he now does bind your arms with the chain, and you get essentially dragged off to a big-ass bunch of wagons, like a day's travel. And go, right. Sit in the back, relax, we've got all the way to go. I'm sure we can hear plenty of stories on the way to Netris. Hope you like swamps. And that is where we're going to end the session for today. Congratulations on your session 0, you lived.
I lived. God. I lived because of a nat 1.
You lived because of a natural one. I literally went, didn't think you'd do that, not gonna lie. I can't get you out of this one. If he doesn't nat 1, you're dead. Because it's gonna be a couple extra turns before... He was supposed to chase you through town, but he's supposed to be picking off your friends first.
Yep.
So... You survived because you were off the ground and the dragon natural 1 because of heat metal.
Yep.
But you did
all according to plan, I swear.
You successfully landed. I actually need to roll. Will its eyes eventually grow back? From the passive regeneration of a dragon. Which, by the way, a dragon's regeneration, even a normal one, which hasn't got life magic, can regenerate from a severed head. So its eyes aren't too bad.
Yeah.
The eye will eventually regenerate, but it will take a year. The burnt one. The other one's going to come back in like a week or so.
So if a one-eyed shock drake shows up within a year, I know it's come back for vengeance. Any point after that, it could be literally any shock drake.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of the scars are still going to be visible on it, so they can't heal the scars away. It's not... The dragon's regen isn't that powerful unless it has healing magic of some description. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed your session 0.
I have never been more stressed out than the first, few rounds of that combat.
I had a lot of fun. Hope you
That was great.
Yeah. So you have officially met another one of the legendary adventurers working for a mysterious benefactor. Oh, and I'll give you this one as well. When you're in the cart, you look around the room.
Yeah.
And bound up and in various states of captured, you see quite a few of the people who are on the wanted, the missing posters.
Explain something at least.
He's got a few more mercs around him, but he's the only noteworthy one, really. So, and they start heading off down to Netris. Hope you look forward to it because you're going on holiday. To the southernmost place on this continent. So, you're probably not going to get chased down by a dragon.
Probably not.
At least not anytime soon. But yes, this was session 0.2 of Geddon, the Centre of Magic. Thanks, Jay, for joining me.
Yeah, anytime.
Glad you enjoyed it. I'll throw us back to the standard screen.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, travellers. But yes, so this is the second to last of the session 0s. After that, we will be starting up on a Saturday at some point. It'll be every 2 weeks after that. But this was the second to last one. The next one is going to be involving 2 players, Zara and Cav, who've never played D&D before, so this should be hilarious. And yeah, it should be good. So yeah, I have been the evil GM, Wolfiebane. Jay has been Smith.
Yep.
Oh yeah, heal your character up as well, you're good. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Have a fantastic evening. Every so often you keep playing video games, keep being awesome. You guys are the best audience on Twitch. Don't forget to follow and subscribe if you can, so I can do more shit like this and torment more people. See you guys. Jay, say see ya.
See you guys.
And I'll see you tomorrow when I'll be playing some Neo. So yeah. Thank you very much for watching. And see you around. Good night.